It is time for the City Leatherheads podcast coming from El Paso, Texas, live. Oh man, we had a little bye week. It seemed like it was like a long bye week for this one for some reason. But Danny Ramirez, good to see you again, my friend. Oh man, it's I can't wait. The big schedule came out right now, right? Just the big show starts. Even through all the
Yep.
medias, ESPN and all them, like they're doing the exact same thing in this Eastern time, 8 p.m. We are Mountain Standard Time, so it is 6 o'clock here. How are we doing today? We doing good?
What's up, Jay? Yeah, I'm doing good, man. It's good to be on the podcast again, talk some football with you. It's been a crazy couple weeks. The last week and a half, I've been going through my wife's graduation, selling my house, getting ready to pack and move. So it's been a lot. So today
Sheesh.
is a day that I was really looking forward to, and I can't wait to talk some football, and most importantly, to see like what teams are favorite. The Bears, the Cowboys are playing, and seeing if they play during the holidays. It seems like they are. So it's super exciting to see everything play out, and I want to review the schedule and see week by week to see like what's the most anticipated matchup that we're looking forward to.
Oh yeah, like obviously this is one of the key parts of like the off season. We're always like trying to figure out who and what and where, and like so we free agency, we see the draft, and let's lock it in. It's like the player, like all right, week one, all right, how do we fare? Like each fanfare is like, all right, how do we feel about this coming up season? After it's all set and the schedule's made, and then yeah, and then it's just obviously key thing is like people don't want to have injuries in the workouts, preseason, during the season. So we're gonna do thing in a good, perfect world. We're gonna do these games that within no injuries, right? Like let's just say everyone has a clean slate every week, and then we're just gonna attack and then pretend that no injuries happen, right? So on paper, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna talk about our season. That's gonna be the fun part, and so we'll pick a game. You'll pick a game for each week that we think be
Well, it seems like we're a little bit too early, I guess. Um, the schedule really isn't up yet. I guess they're releasing it as we speak, but I think before we get into the schedule, let's go ahead and talk about a few of the big NFL news right from the last week or week and a half. The first one being Jared Goff getting that major extension. What did you think about that?
Oh man, obviously, he was due, right? I mean, he makes it to the at least the NFC Championship game, right? Like Prescott's over here saying that he deserves more money and blah, but Jared, last time I checked, at least took your team, the Detroit Lions, to the NFC Championship game, right? And honestly, they were winning that game. Like I thought they could have pulled it
Yeah.
off, and then they kind of like went away from what was working. And then we talked about it recently. You and I did. Camel going for it like all the time. Like, dude, you have to minimize that and know the surroundings of the impact of the game, right? Like if they don't go for those, maybe they do win, and maybe they do represent the NFC in the Super Bowl, right? Um, so Jared Goff, I mean, hats off to him deserving. Like LA kind of ran him out of town, and then he definitely found new life in a different. Sometimes it just it's not who's best as in athleticism and here or whatever. It's just like who fits where. Like if it's a perfect fit, which I think Detroit has been for him, because like he's more chill, quiet dude, and Detroit, obviously being the Lions, were always struggling to even they were struggling to get out of the top five of the draft picks, right? So like now you go Dan Campbell, the new regime GM, and Jared Goff goes with them, and you go to the NFC Championship game. So let's see if they could build on it and possibly win their very first Super Bowl. That would be cool.
Yeah, it seems like the Lions front office gets it right there. They know that their championship window is right now, and so they don't want to tinker with anything. Right? It worked last year, and perhaps they think it's going to continue to work. Which, I mean, I don't blame them that I don't blame them for that. Not one bit. The only thing that I would say, and I'm not coming at this argument or coming at this take from like an NFC North rival perspective. I'm more in terms of, the longevity of the NFL, right? Especially at the quarterback position, it's very difficult to sustain that success year over year. And yes, Goff has done that since his time at Detroit, but it's like that's a lot of money. You're kind of handcuffing your team to that quarterback. So it's like do or die now. If they don't get to the Super Bowl with this current squad, chances are they're not going to get to Super Bowl with any other quarterback, behind center. So that's the only negative thing I see from it. It's just a lot of money to be contributing to Jared Goff. But I mean, I can't blame them one bit for wanting to, you know, put all their eggs in the Jared Goff basket for sure.
Yeah, and it goes back to like you saying, like, is it worth the reward? Well, honestly, they and this team's window is probably this year and maybe next year truly to like keep the team together, right? So, especially with Jared Goff on the mantle, but like us going back to the Atlanta Falcons, I mean, would you rather have Detroit pay him and then hopefully, hope for the best and then get free agencies around him, or would you like them to trade for the future draft for the Atlanta did right from the jump? I think Detroit did it right. I mean, they knew that they're going to get this extension done because if they weren't going to get it done, then it wouldn't have happened, right? So I think the perspective of like going forward, I think it makes total sense. Maybe next year or another year after that, they draft a young quarterback to kind of like air the mantle of Jared Goff. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you'll see this Detroit regime and see how it goes.
I think for the Lions, right, what they have going for them is the fact that they've been able to draft really well these last couple years, right? A lot of their foundational pieces on their team are coming from the draft, which is a good sign. So if they continue that trend, I think it's going to be very beneficial on their end, right? They don't have to worry about going to free agency to pick up those key playmakers, right? They can build within and grow within. So yeah, hopefully that's the case on their end, because if not, yeah, it's going to be very difficult for them to fork out any money to anyone, as they're looking to improve their squad in the future. But that's just my perspective. The other big news that I wanted to share before we go into the NFL schedule, which it looks like it's up already, is the New York Giants. Did you hear about them being selected for the Hard Knocks series on HBO Max?
Oh my goodness. I have not, but as a Cowboy fan, I'm thrilled because a lot of people tend to struggle for some reason when they're on Hard Knocks. It's kind of a weird thing. People are like, oh, the Madden curse. And then, the Hard Knocks thing, it's the limelight, the cameras, like, it's kind of, it gets in people's head. It's flashy, like it's exhausting sometimes for the players because they have to, keep up right in front of the camera. And I think if there is like a Hard Knocks type curse, like people believe, like with the Madden and stuff, the that's not going to be good for Bro, and it's definitely going to be good for Daniel Jones, right? So like, and Daniel Jones, everyone thinks that he doesn't even have a character, like he doesn't have a personality. So I'm like, he's definitely going to have to like try to show some this time because cameras are going to be locked and loaded, and then the producers and everything, and then if Hard Knocks gets a little too harsh and too like involved, and then Giants stumble from the jump, like it is definitely gonna not be good for Daboll and Daniel Jones's career at MetLife.
Yeah, I guess this year's series of Hard Knocks is going to be quite different. I didn't know that they were going to approach it this way, but apparently, this New York Giants Hard Knocks show is going to be. I want to say it's like before training camp, or during the. It's considered Hard Knocks in the off season, which is new, right? So
I
it's going to be. Go ahead. What were you going
no,
to say?
no, I'm sorry. I honestly thought that it should have been that way from the jump, because you
Yeah.
don't want. I mean, it's hard enough to go compete and hit the guy that's in front of you, but yet then you go have to have a camera like a documentary series like the whole time in front of you. You know what I mean? I mean, like look at
Yeah.
all those like real world shows that like and it ended crashing like marriages, and there's so much stuff that just comes with it that people are watching and talking about, and it's kind of a it's a it what's the word
Like a big distraction.
there you go. It's a massive distraction, right? So like if you don't have a core that's already like if the Chiefs were there, I honestly think, I'm like, oh well, they've been there, done that so many times at this point. I don't think it would phase them. And plus they just
Yeah.
had the Taylor Swift, like craziness of last year. So they wouldn't have phased them. But like a Giants team that's like I mean, they're going to be considered number 4 in the division, let alone trying to scrape from the bottom of the draft again, So, I'm glad that honestly, as an NFL perspective, I'm glad for them that it's like beforehand and not during like craziness, So,
Yeah, no, I agree with you in terms of it being a distraction. I think when it comes to like training camp, right, as it is, you already have the stress of producing in training camp, especially if you're a young player coming to the NFL, and you have the cameras, and then you have it's like a lot of different distractions, right? So I understand that, but apparently this Hard Knock series is going to look to do an off-season episode or series, and then they're going to do a training camp, and then they're going to do an in-season show as well, which I think is too much, but who knows? I don't know how they're going to work it out. Apparently, I was hearing on the radio today, ESPN Chicago, that they're actually looking to do the in season one, like following a whole division. So it could be like the NFC East, the NFC North, or whoever they select. But apparently, they're going to be, going from team to team with that division and seeing like what are the big storylines each week, I guess, during the in season show. So that's interesting. It's a different perspective. It's a different, it's a different perspective for the everyday NFL fan. So that seems pretty cool. I just hope it's not my team's division, right? I don't want to have that distraction, especially as we're looking to, have some success this season. I don't want any distractions, but yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. What else did we miss in terms of big NFL news? I feel like we're missing something else. Do you remember the last week and a half?
yeah, like that oh man, like I mean, you and I both been pretty busy and talking about the. I don't think.
I, no
I
T
don't
Higgins
know.
trades, nothing like that, right? So I guess in terms
No,
of
yeah.
massive news, nothing like that. But
So far, he's still there. And going back
yeah,
to your Hawks, man, if it's gonna be in season, I'd rather it be in a whole division. At least it's not at your complex, at your place all the time,
yeah,
So, or maybe
that's
it's just
true.
not the main focus. So that helps, right? So that's kind of good. And like you said, it'll be multiple perspectives and players and different things going on. Yeah, I don't
It,
know if
it,
we've.
if you think about it, though, that division, I mean, that Hard Knocks division follow would be pretty cool because when it comes to like, let's say the rivalry weeks, like, let's say the Cowboys against the Redskins or Cowboys against the Eagles, it'd be pretty cool to see the dynamic from both sides of the locker rooms, right? To see like how they
Oh,
approach that type of rivalry game.
yeah,
So
the hype.
that, yeah, that would be awesome to see it from the player's perspective.
Yeah, and G at the NFL, he said Redskins, not Commanders, because we already know who the true.
Ooh, I
We already
did.
know the true. We already know the true Reds, Washington team. So just so y'all know.
I
But
think
yeah.
David would
Oh
agree
yeah.
with me.
It's. Hey, you brought that up, right? Hail to the Redskins, like my uncle G would say, and it's crazy, man. Like tomorrow is 1 month already that we found out about the news. So like, I mean, that went really quick. It feels like we just found
Yeah.
out. So Uncle G, man, I
Uh,
can't wait to. I talk to him every day. Like I, it's pretty wild. But so has the schedule kind of like been leaking as we've been speaking, or how's this going?
no, well, I'm on the NFL website and it seems like they have it up completely. So let me pull that up real quick.
All
But
right,
yeah, I
let's
mean,
do this.
today today I've been kind of going through Twitter or X, whatever they're calling it these days, just seeing like which games have leaked. And it took a while actually for the Bears schedule to leak. They were being really tight-lipped with it. So
Like, knew you were
um,
watching.
probably, but apparently there was some rumors, and I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. But apparently there were some rumors that the Bears are going to play the Lions on Thanksgiving. So I'm curious to see if that's the case with this
That
schedule
would be
here.
epic.
Yeah, so that means the Cowboys will play on Thanksgiving, the Bears will play on Thanksgiving, and I don't know if the Texans play on Thanksgiving, but I know they
The
play on Christmas Day.
Giants, I think, is going to Arlington. To I think from what I heard on Thanksgiving Day.
All right, so this is week 1 schedule here. We start off with the Thursday
Oh,
night championship or season opener, right? Usually it's the day that they give out the championship rings, the banners, and all that.
right.
So it's going to be the Ravens at the Chiefs. So they'll be at Arrowhead or whatever they're calling it these days, to take on the Chiefs. I like that
And
matchup,
that's
honestly. I think,
I I can't like honestly. That is one of the best opening ones in a long time, to be honest, for me. Just because like how they were both like obviously the Chiefs are the champion, and then the Ravens have been so close, and then they just added Derek Henry in the few, and then the and Kansas City got upset last year on their
yep,
inaugural week 1 against the Lions. So I mean that's exciting.
yeah, I like that one a lot. And there's going to be, I mean, the Ravens lost some people on defense, but like to your point, right? They have Derrick Henry, so we get to see his debut with the Ravens. And then the Chiefs ended up getting their Tyreek Hill this past draft. So it's going to be
Thank you,
interesting to see how
Buffalo.
he kind of meshes. I know. Good job, Buffalo. But yeah,
I
that's going to
think,
be a good way to open up the season for sure.
and then obviously we have the first week 1 international game ever on the NFL season. So of course we get the Packers and Eagles. That's wild, and it's going to be on a Friday. So that's I mean on Peacock. Well, I guess yeah, NBC. So hopefully, I guess we'll have to. If we don't have Peacock, you probably have to go check it out. And then that's all week 1, right?
Yep, this is all week 1 here. So as far as
So
like top games and Sunday, right? We have, it's crazy. We don't have like, these are all different opponents, like NFC taking on the AFC. It seems like that's to be a common theme here, right? Like the Steelers taking on the
that's
Falcons, the
cool.
Cardinals. Yeah, it's different.
Because
And
a lot of several years, people have been opening most of people that
with their
they
division.
open with, it's their division. So yeah,
Yep, exactly. Patriots and Bengals, that's going to be a good one just because of the whole, you have Drake May. Who knows if he's a starting quarterback? If not, it would be Jacoby Brissett, I believe. But that would be pretty cool to see
right.
Drake May against Joe Burrow. Texans and Colts. Here's a division game.
That's
So
division.
yeah, it's going to be interesting to
Jacksonville at
see.
Miami. Wow.
Mhm. Florida taking on
Saints
Florida.
Panthers division.
Look at this. I'm sure you were thrilled. You weren't too thrilled with my text. You didn't like this matchup or what? Cowboys
Well,
Browns.
one. Oh, I mean, I don't mind it. I just we always play Cleveland. If we play Cleveland early, it's I feel like we're always in Cleveland, but it's fine. Like I mean, we better beat a damn team that doesn't even have a real logo. So it just like get it together, Cleveland. You change your damn uniform, and all you did was put a white face mask. Get a real logo. Let's get going. But so we're gonna talk about our teams, right? Since you pointed it out at this point. Um, the new offensive line regime for Dallas is going to get a great test, right? You get Miles Garrett and one of the top defenses all of last year, actually the last 2 years, and you get the head coach of the year, Stefanski, the first head coach to ever make the playoffs with 3 starting quarterbacks. So I mean that sounds intense. So that
Yeah,
dude knows what he. I
that's
mean
some
he's got
success.
a yeah, that's awesome. So Dallas is gonna get tested from the jump, and like we're gonna see, like, hey Dak, let's see like Tom Brady already. That's Tom Brady's first game for those that don't know, and commentating booth area, and he already throwed a little shade at Dak. Like he was like, "Hey man, I'm gonna be there. Let's see if Dak can kind of like come up clutch for once." And like like good for him. Like he's calling him out. Like I've been doing for a while, and then so yeah, I'm thrilled and not
Speaking,
thrilled at the same time.
yeah, I was gonna say, speaking of Tom Brady though, I can't picture him as a commentator yet. Like, I don't know. To me, Romo was a nice breath of fresh air right at the beginning because he
Right.
just brought a different element to the commentating game. Now, a couple of years in, he's kind of annoying, right? He tries to predict everything. He says Jim for
But
everything.
that was that was our fault also because we were praising that he did that. So now he's like, it's part of his genre or his like top, his subject. So yeah, like so yeah, he'll try to predict it. I don't. So people don't like him calling him Jim.
No, I guess. Oh, Jim, because he always says that. He gets a little too excited, I
I'm
guess.
not.
But
I mean, I'm. I'm not gonna hate on a guy that has emotion, especially like because I mean Troy and Joe Buck. I mean they don't say Buck or Aikman, like that. So I'm like, oh Jim, like I don't hate that part, but yeah, like him like trying to like be like the momentum swing of like predicting everything. I mean, I could see where people are kind of like, stop it. But I mean,
yeah,
it was technically our fault too because it became such. So it's going to be part of his gimmick at this point.
I just
Um,
hope he's not the type
but
of
yeah, so
commentator
Tom
that.
Brady, his first game. I wonder.
Oh, sorry, I'm a little delayed, I guess, on your end. I was gonna say that I can't. I don't know. I hope he's just not the type of commentator that like criticizes all the NFL quarterbacks, and because you know who does that? Phil Sims. Phil Sims is just like a massive critic. It's kind of annoying. I hope Tom Brady just doesn't come into that role with that kind of mentality. I hope he tries to educate the viewers. I hope he tries to kind of, you know, point things out, but not criticize in a way that's kind of annoying. But that's all I'll say about Tom Brady. Go ahead.
I think if he comes, like you said, the knowledge part. Like I hope he's more Madden esque. Like we need that again, where he can like draw up a
Yeah,
floor plan and just show the this basic viewer that's just trying to follow the game what happened, right? And then Madden was so perfect at that. And then I don't know who his counterpart is. It might be Burkhart, the guy that
it's
was
Burkhart.
with Greg Olson. Okay, so
Yeah,
yeah, so I don't know where Greg Olson goes, but obviously he got bumped from the booth. But going back to you saying, I hope he doesn't critique all the quarterbacks. I honestly hope he critiques every player and everyone's mantra because he already said the worst part of this game now it's about them and not about the team, and that's where it goes back to the whole like I want money, 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 or like like there's so many like just selfish things now about any league, and he's right about that. So I hopefully if someone comes up arrogant the week of, and then he's playing, and then if he calls him out, I'll have no problem with it.
yeah. It's gonna be
Um,
interesting to see how it all plays out. But yeah, I can't wait.
right.
Um, so let's talk about the end of week one. Right, we have on Sunday Night Football. We have the Rams going to Detroit, which makes sense, right? Detroit's coming off a very successful season. They reached the NFC Championship, like you said earlier. So it makes sense to put them in that slot, right? To see if they can continue their success this coming year. The Rams, we don't know what kind of team they're going to be. They're missing Aaron Donald, but they've gotten some really good playmakers on defense from the draft. So you wanted to say something, right?
Yeah, and he's playing his old team. So like, hey,
True.
go shut them up, or like go prove them that they was wrong for the future. Because obviously the Rams were all in for like trying to win at that specific time. That's why they got Matthew Stafford. Because Matthew Stafford's probably maybe another year or two in, right? I mean, he's not going to
Hmm.
last too much more longer. And then, yeah, you get the Jets and 49ers. And Aaron Rodgers does not have a good history like Dak Prescott against the 49ers. So that's going to be interesting to watch. And it's Monday night again. That's where he tore his Achilles. And then
That's
I
right.
like when ESPN was saying that, like, hey, Aaron Rodgers opens up, plays 2 Monday nights back to back. I'm like, no, technically he's going to play one because if he stays healthy, it'll be one whole game. The other one he didn't even play. So
Just one series.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, he didn't play at all. So don't even. I was like, it's his first technically full Monday night game if he's hopefully stays healthy. And honestly, as a Cowboys fan and stuff in this, like that one game, I'm actually rooting for Aaron. You know, I want the Niners to lose. So
I'm with you. I'm with you. I think I'm curious to see what the Jets, team's gonna look like with Aaron Rodgers, a healthy Aaron Rodgers behind center. They have a
right.
lot of weapons now. They've added to that weaponry with several different playmakers on defense and the draft. So it's going to be interesting. Now, there's no excuses for Rodgers not to have any success in New York. They just got to make sure he doesn't tear his Achilles this year. So perhaps, don't let him
Or
run out the
anything.
tunnel. Yeah. But that's week one
So
for
okay,
you.
so we talked about my team week one. So how do you okay, let's go to the Titans at Bears. The Bears.
I like this one. I got like you. I got tired of the Bears playing the Lions, the Packers. I like them playing a team that we're not used to. Playing against, and apparently, it's even better because one of my good friends, Jaime, is a big Titans fan. So it's cool to have that rivalry with somebody that I know, and I could talk some smack before week one. And then you talk about the Caleb Williams debut, right? I think that's perfect. I love the fact that they open up at Soldier Field. So right off the bat, we're gonna be able to see a glimpse of how Caleb Williams is gonna produce at Soldier Field, and see if the stage is too big. Hopefully it's not, but yeah, I'm thrilled with this matchup. There was a lot of rumors for like the last week and a half saying it was going to be the Lions and Sunday Night Football. So again, I'm happy that it's a non-divisional opponent. And I think it's a good way. It's a good way for him to start without having the pressure of going out there and beating one of your division rivals, right? It's more like it's an AFC opponent, but still, like you
Just
can
go
get your feet
play.
wet. Yeah, there's no added stress there.
And going
It looks
back
like we have.
to
Oh, there's Jaime. What's up,
oh,
Jaime?
there he heard you. You know, I'm on with that game. We were talking about how great the Titans have had an off season. I mean, they just keep and then they
Yeah,
just added a piece right after the draft, right? Who was the guy that I said? Tyler Boyd. So I mean, they've had a good identity and foundation so far this off season. And you know what's the best part, Tennessee Titans fans? This year you didn't trade away all your best players. So there you go. Like now we're doing good stuff. What up, Hyman? That was my biggest pet peeve of the old regime and the GM at Tennessee. You know, trade let me trade all of my best players except for one. But I'm like, how are you gonna help your best running back if you keep trading everybody else? So, jeez. But yeah, the Titans at Bears. Okay, Danny. So we're talking about our two teams. Now you pick a game that's gonna be the Flash and the Almighty for Week One.
there's my cousin Adrian. What's up,
Adrian,
cuz?
Levis going down. I know everyone's about to. All right, we got people chiming in like this. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun
We're
one.
starting a rivalry.
LOL. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, Danny, Week One. What's your beloved besides the Bears? What game stands out to you as that's going to be a
uh,
flash?
that's a good question. Ah, man, I would say just the opening, the opening game on Thursday night with the Chiefs and the Ravens. I'm really interested to see how the Ravens look with Derrick Henry behind center. And I mentioned this before, even prior to them getting Derrick Henry, right? When it comes to their backfield, I think they had a really good running back that was barely emerging last year in Keaton Mitchell. So now if you have that big, strong runner in Derrick Henry, and then you have that change of pace back in Keaton Mitchell, it's going to be really interesting to see how that running game looks in Baltimore. And then you also have the most, you have the most athletic quarterback behind center as well that can take a really long run to the end zone. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it all plays out. But I think that's the one that I really want to see, just because I think it's two even teams in terms of skill in the Chiefs and the Ravens. So I think that's a good way. I was kind of even looking going back to last year, I think the Chiefs and the Lions was a good matchup, right? I think there was a lot of
Right.
people saying that it was going to be a blowout for the Chiefs and all that, but no, I mean, it turned out that the Lions were for real, and
I
I think
told
that that's
you,
going to be a similar thing.
if we were in Vegas, I would bet Detroit winning, and they did.
Yeah, you were
Um,
on that train for sure.
yeah. So, and I told you the Lions would be in the NFC Championship at least, and that's what they did. So what? It'd be easy for me to go Rams, Lions because of the Jared Goff, and like that's gonna be an amazing game. The one I'm looking forward to week one because you just showed it. It goes
Hmm.
back to new places, new faces, all these pieces. Pittsburgh and Atlanta, who are trying to win the
Yeah.
division because of all new faces. Kirk Cousins in Atlanta, Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh, even Fields is in Pittsburgh. Like whatever put him to do. But I mean, new look Falcons and the new look Steelers, that's massive because they go at each other to see each other's week one to see where they're at found soundly and foundationally, because both of them are going to try to all in this year, obviously. Like that's why they signed Cook and Falcons do. That's why the Pittsburgh Steelers get Patrick Queen and to go with that good defense already, and then you go get Russell Wilson, and I still think that obviously on paper we have to give it time order. The Russell Wilson Mike Tomlin thing I think is gonna work in their favor. He doesn't have to be like 95% of like old Russ. It's like when Brady went to Buccaneers, like, dude, we have great defense. We have a great receiver. We just need someone that doesn't turn the ball over. Like, all you got to do is just like hand the ball off, throw a few good passes, and we'll be in contention. And that's what Brady did. And he won the Super Bowl with them, obviously, in the 2020 COVID year. But I think that's kind of like we're looking at with Russell Wilson. Like, hey, man, you don't have to be like old Russ perfect. Like, you just be a manager of the game. Let it come to us, you know? So
Yep.
they already have a good foundation from defense, special teams, coaching. So that to me, that week one matchup is going to be very, very telling of who is ready would be at week one.
All right.
Let's go
Sorry,
to
I
week
lost you.
two.
I lost the audio for a bit. Let's see here.
You got me now?
Yeah, I got you. But yeah, no, I just want to say real quick before we go to week two, I think you're right. I think the Steelers are going to be a really
Okay.
fun team to watch this year because of all those new faces. They had a really solid draft. They got a lot of good players. So it's going to be interesting to see how they all kind of mesh together, right? As it is, Mike Tomlin's going to have his team playing hard. And then now you have a capable
Right.
quarterback, two capable quarterbacks behind center. I mean, I think it's going to prove really beneficial for them. All right,
Ooh, look
Jay.
at
So
that
this is week two here. It starts off with Thursday Night Football on Prime Video.
division.
Yep, Bills Dolphins. So, oh man, the Bills are a big question mark at this point, right? You don't know what kind of team they're going to be. You don't know how hard they're going to play. They lost a lot of key players, both on offense and defense. And the Dolphins, I mean, they lost a couple of people, but it seems like they were able to sustain most of their key playmakers. So if I had to pick a winner here, it'd probably be the Dolphins. In my honest opinion, I think that the Dolphins just, they're probably better equipped offensively, and they probably have a little bit more, um, you know, I guess familiarity with each other, right? They're not coming new to
Right.
the, not like Josh Allen where he has to kind of develop a chemistry with new wide receivers. Tua already has that chemistry there.
So Raiders
And
at
then,
Ravens,
yep. Oh, look at the Saints Cowboys.
Chargers, Saints at Dallas, Buccaneers
So
at
I didn't even
Detroit.
notice. Do the Cowboys open up in Cleveland or in Dallas?
They're in Cleveland.
Okay. So it's your first home opener here.
Yes.
And
Shoo.
Bucks Lions, Packers Colts. I mean, there's a divisional.
Oh, Russell plays Sean Payton in week two.
That's a storyline. That's
Yeah.
good.
Oh, Bears at Texans Sunday night. That's gonna be a sleeper game for sure.
Yeah, that's the first true
Sheesh.
test of
Oh
the
yeah,
season for the Bears,
it's
going up
Houston's
against
not gonna
those
be
offensive weapons. It's gonna be crazy.
Falcons and Eagles. Like Kirk Cousins does not have it easy from the jump. Pittsburgh and then Philly. They're in Pennsylvania the whole time
Yeah,
apparently.
yeah,
Wow.
it's gonna be a little tough sledding, but
Yeah.
let's see. Their offense on paper should be able to do well against
Match up.
potentially the Steelers. Yeah. So who knows? It all depends if they build that chemistry during training camp. But for now, I mean, I like both the Sunday night matchup and the Monday night matchup. I think they're pretty solid matchups there between the two teams, or four teams, I should say. But let's see in the early slate of Sunday. I mean, there's
All
really
right, so
not
we're,
a
we're
matchup. Yeah, Chiefs Bengals. That's a good one. That's the late game on Sunday. Joe Burrow against Mahomes. That's always a good matchup between both of those two teams. It's always tight, so that's a good one.
that's if Burrow's hurt healthy.
He should be.
Burrow's
He
become
had
Mr.
a good.
Glass. But yeah. Okay, so
Yeah,
let's
and so
we'll go to the early game, Cowboys at Saints, since we're talking about our teams. Um, so Dallas can escape with Cleveland week 1. I hate that they're trying to get you to like look at the damn commercials, but
I know
if
it's
if it
annoying.
can escape from week 1, then I think we should start 2-0, because I don't think Derek Carr going into, the Saints are just such a big question mark still, and and it goes back to their coach, Daniel Allen, right? So um, I think Dallas, if they escape with a win in Cleveland, then they'll start 2-0, and then things will make me feel a little easier, and feel a little less stressed, because like I already told you, this year's schedule with all these pieces, and we didn't like go heavy in free agency, that I'm still kind of like, bro, like what are we doing? So if we can start 2-0, I think Cleveland will be the bigger test than the Saints. Then that's a great start. And then what about your Bears?
The Bears, and then I mean, I honestly, like right now, that think that's a loss. I think it's just too early on for Caleb Williams to have some success against this. I mean, Texans have a good defense as it is, right? And they picked up Danielle Hunter this offseason, and then you have Will Anderson. I mean, it's a lot of pressure coming from the defensive line. And as it is, even without Danielle Hunter last year, right, they were pretty solid on defense. They were up and coming as well.
Yeah,
So it's a tall task to have any rookie come in and play against, a really, really good defense on Sunday Night Football. So I honestly mark this down as an L for the Bears. But I just hope it's a close one and not a blowout.
but going back to what you said, look at the year 2 quarterback that he's playing in Houston, Texas. Look how broadly he started, because they were shocking a lot of people that they were that good. So what if Chicago does shock Houston? Because Houston shocked a lot of people early last year. So I think it's a good matchup. And so you said the Bengal. I think you're leaning towards the Bengals and Chiefs as like you're probably like game of that possible
Yeah,
game of the week, right?
mhm. That's the game that I would select as another, other than of course my favorite team, right? I would probably focus on
Yes.
on that one to see and to watch. So yeah, I would say just because of the whole quarterback matchups, I think it would be a fun game to see.
Yeah, so I do want to see Russell against Sean, and see if he can get that revenge factor. But I'm going to stay away from that because I already picked Pittsburgh. Go up a little bit, and I'm going to pick this week. I'm going to pick Cleveland and Jacksonville. Why? Because I think Jacksonville started at Miami, and then Cleveland, of course, starts with Dallas. These two teams right here, they cannot afford to start 0-2 within their division. You got Houston, you got Tennessee, and then the Colts. Will see how good they are, but Houston and Tennessee are obviously going to be in the mix for that division. Cleveland, I mean, you got the Bengals if Burrow's healthy. You got the Ravens. You got the Pittsburgh Steelers. So like this team is gonna be a physical fought like week two. Like bro, if we go if we go down 0-2 or 1-1 because of this team, though that week two matchup could be the factor of why Cleveland doesn't make the playoffs or why Jacksonville doesn't make the playoffs because they won head to head or they lost head to head. So I think that
Yeah.
matchup right here is very key to both teams because of what division they're in.
That's a good point. And I don't know if you know this, but in Jacksonville, there's a home field advantage when it comes to the Jaguars at TIAA Stadium, right? I think that as it is, kind of like the way Miami is, it's super hot, muggy. So early on in the
Right.
season, it's going to be super hot, and that could be an advantage for Jacksonville for sure. And of course, the Browns are not used to that kind of heat, so
No.
that's a good thing for the Jags. That's what they got going for them.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a good matchup though, like because that could be a key factor later on.
Yeah. So week two is not the most high profile week, right, when it comes to matchups, but I think you picked
Right.
a good one there between those two teams there. All right, let's go to week three. We have 14 viewers. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate
Chime
that.
in.
Yeah, if you guys are new
Co-
to the channel, comment, chime in, let us know who your favorite team is, and we look forward to hearing from you.
yeah, and we're going to week three. So if you have any questions about week three of who your team's playing, let us know. All right, here we
That's
go.
right. Thursday night game, not that
Oh,
great.
Patriots at Jets. Well, not that great, but it's gonna be a heated rivalry. Like they hate each other, whether Brady's there or not, whether Belichick's there or not. And of course, the Jets, all those years that they got punched in the jaw because of Belichick and Brady. Now it's their turn to lay down the hammer and be aggressors. So that's gonna be fun. Giants at Cleveland, and depending how Giants start, woof. Bears at Colts. Hey, Bears kind of have like a favorable start to their
They
season.
have
It's not going to be. They
yeah,
have
they have
good
an easy
teams,
schedule.
but you know what? 3 straight weeks they've started with the AFC South.
That's true. I didn't even think about that. I didn't pick that up.
So
But yeah,
it's
you're right.
Tennessee, then Houston, and the Colts. So I mean, they could be undefeated from the AFC South if they were able to pull some upsets. The Vikings the Texans at Vikings. That might be a. The Eagles at Saints. So that goes back to those weird matchups, right? If the Saints go to Dallas and get their blood drawn, and then you get a daunted Philly team that's going to try to compete with Dallas too in that division, like that might be 2 straight losses for the Saints. Chargers at Pittsburgh. That might be a good game because of Harbaugh and the new regime, and then Pittsburgh and their new player. Like man, that's a good sleeping team or sleeping game. So we get the Broncos at Buccaneers after, Packers at Titans, Panthers at Raiders, Dolphins at Seahawks, Lions at Cardinals, Ravens at Cowboys. I mean,
Ooh,
oh
that's a
my
tough one.
goodness. That yeah,
Hey, but
we're
that's
good.
but you're at home, so that's a
Yeah,
good
we're at
that's
home.
a good
Thank the
thing.
Lord. So if we're home, I know we play Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh, so that means we would play Cincinnati at home too. So we talk about our teams, right? So if Dallas could start 2-0, and I mean, I don't think we're gonna beat this team because they never do good against Lamar and a scrambling quarterback. For some reason, the Ravens, there's a weird stat with the Ravens and Cowboys. Like I don't know if Baltimore's ever lost to the Dallas Cowboys. Even in the years where they were just terrible, for some reason they just come to play against Dallas. So that might that like you said, you're being fair. I'm going to be fair. That's probably our first loss because I think we have a better chance escaping in Cleveland than we do beating Baltimore at home. So I think we start 2-1. So I think that could be the first loss. Then you get the 49ers at Rams, and then Chiefs at Falcons, and then Jaguars at Bills. Man, they're not being nice to
Ah,
Buffalo at all.
no. And apparently this is week three, so apparently they're gonna do the double header on Monday Night Football. Usually they do it week one, or last year they did it week two.
Yeah,
So it seems they're doing it
maybe
week three
because of
now.
the
The
maybe
Brazil
because
game.
of the. Yep, that's exactly what I was talking about. So Commanders at Bengals. All right. So wait. So okay. So the Bears at Colts. What do you think?
Bears at Colts. I think. Oh man, it's just so tough for me. Like the fanboy in me wants to be like, yeah, we're gonna be 3-0, right? But it's just like I don't know what kind of team we're gonna have to start. Right? We have a new offensive coordinator in Shane Waldron. Our defense looked great last year to close out the year, right? So who knows if that continues? I hope it does. Um, and if it does, then I would say, yeah, we'd beat the Colts, right? Because I think when it comes to our defense being able to manage the game while Caleb Williams learns how to be the quarterback, there's going to come with learning experiences, and I'm sure a lot of bad things are going to happen from time to time. But as long as our defense can keep us in the game, I think we have a shot to start at least 2-1, and then go from there.
I
We have
believe
a favorable matchup.
I agree with you. Like Tennessee, you having Tennessee at home is such a great start to the season because one, they're gonna be up and coming because of all the pieces that they're adding for Will Levis. But you guys start week one at home, so the momentum, you get the home field advantage, and then of course we think we're gonna lose to Houston. So I think you beat the Colts. So you start 2-1, and that'd be ideal, right? So
Yeah, I'd
going
be okay with
forward.
that.
Right. So technically, right now, we think Dallas and Chicago starts 2-1, ideally on paper. What matchup that you think is going to be the heir apparent of this week?
I like the. I have to say, I have to like the Cowboys and Ravens matchup. I think that's going to be a true
Okay.
test for the Cowboys, right? Starting off, I think they'll beat the Browns. I'm in agreement with you. I think they beat the Browns, and I think they beat. Who was the second team they play? I
The
forgot.
Saints.
The Saints. Yeah, I think they beat the Saints as well. Ravens will come in. I mean, the Cowboys always play well at home, right? I think the only thing that maybe I'm questioning a little bit based off of their success is that running back position, right? I don't know how good they're going to be on running the football this year. So that's the only thing. And I think if you're looking on the opposite end, right, you're going to have Derrick Henry, you're going to have Keaton Mitchell, you're going to have
Yeah. The one guy that we
Mark
should have got,
Andrews.
one of them at least. And like he lives in doubt. Like he's going to want to punish us so badly because yet again, one person that wants to come to us and we don't go after him. So he's going to go for a revenge factor for sure. So that's what
Yep.
scares me. I honestly, if I'm Dallas, I'm lining up Micah with Derek the whole game. I'll be like everybody else, just like watch Lamar. Like Micah, you're taking 22 the entire effing game, bro. Because like if he gets past Micah, like I don't think there's anybody that can like physically stop him after his truck gets running. Our secondary's our secondary's great at takeaways. Tackling sometimes they frustrate me. So I'm like, if he gets his trucks running, I don't know. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like that's a good matchup. The Bears or the Rams and the 49ers is very good to me just because the division and all that stuff. But oh man, I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm going like I have Pittsburgh twice already on game of the week because going back to what I said the previous week in week two, Pittsburgh in their division, Chargers try not to be the little chump brother from Kansas City the whole time, the new regime. This game too is impactful because if Chargers are trying to push for a playoff berth later on, if Pittsburgh's trying to push for a playoff berth, and then it's like, well, who beat who head to head? And then if they're tied, it goes down to those, that flip of the coin, like, oh damn, well, Chargers upset Pittsburgh in week three, and like, their point differential is like a little better, then obviously Pittsburgh gets left out in the cold. So this week three matchup could be telltale for each team. And going back to it, they could start 2-1 or 1-2, because their schedule is not as easy as yeah, I mean, of course, Chargers and they're with the Kansas City Super Bowl champions, never easy, but um, yeah. So let's see how they start. I mean, either team could be 1-2 or 2-1. So it's a big impact in week three because that's why NFL is always so like daunting to watch, right? Because each week, like it's like, oh man, like we're one more game away of like starting the playoffs because it's such a short season, and if you start 1-2, you're like, oh man, can we get this going?
Yeah,
So oh
that's a good
man,
one. I would, if I had to pick another one, I would say it's probably the Chiefs and Falcons. Right, that's another measuring game for the
forever.
Falcons,
Oh yeah.
and they play at home. As it is, it's dome stadium.
Thankfully for them, they play at home.
Yeah, I mean that's the only thing they got going for them. But it's gonna be interesting to see how potent their offense is. Right, they have a lot of playmakers, so I'm curious to see if that you know develops into a nice chemistry for Kirk Cousins, or if it's just an average NFL offense. So that one I would circle on my calendar as a must watch game. I mean it's Sunday night football, so America's gonna be tuning in for sure.
So, this year is going to be very interesting for me, just out of the perspective of Kirk Cousins viewership to me, because
Hmm.
I've had a few Cowboys fans like come at me with hate because they're like, "What's the difference between Dak and Kirk Cousins?" I was like, one, he'd be cheaper, and at least he has more like, you know, Kirk Cousins has that swag confidence, right? Like he doesn't care what people say. He's like, yeah, he's like that. You like that? Like, you know what I mean? He's all about himself, which as an America's team, you need to be, because like you need to be hard headed, swagged out, because Dak's there just looking at his iPad, chill, not doing much. And I'm like, you're the Dallas Cowboys, for Christ's sake. Troy Aikman won 3 Super Bowls because he would punch his players. So I'm like, you have to have that moxie. And so people were bashing me like, Kirk Cousins is not even better. I'm like, I'm not saying he's better athletically than Dak. He just has that more of a little if factor percentage wise when push comes to shove, because he's just able to like not care when push comes to shove. And like if Atlanta goes further than Dallas this year, one, I'm gonna be pissed, but two, I'm gonna hit those fans up and be like, remember what I told you last year, or like during the offseason, like it doesn't matter that Dak's more athletic. I'm like, push comes to shove, I just want him to win. Like I don't care if he scores 50 touchdowns. I just want him to show up and win when it matters most. So yeah, Atlanta's gonna be intriguing to watch for me for sure.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how potent their offense is, because on paper it looks potent, right? It's just who knows.
Right.
It's just
Week
Kirk
4.
Cousins. Kirk Cousins is the biggest question mark in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so you guys open up Thursday this week against the
Yeah.
Giants.
Damn,
That's
we
a
have
loss.
Baltimore and then a Thursday. Wow, that's gonna be bruising. So hopefully Dallas comes unscathed. No one beat up, because I don't want to get upset by the Giants. So okay, if theoretically we're still going by paper and everything, we're 3-1, right? I think Baltimore's our first loss. I think we handled the Giants yet again. For some reason, Daniel Jones can show up sometimes, but with Dallas, for some reason, that dude just has not shown up at all. So yeah, so
Yeah,
I
that's
think that
true.
trend continues.
There, there has not been a close game between the Giants and Dallas whenever Daniel Jones is under center. It's
So yeah,
crazy.
I
He
think we
has good
start
games
three and
against the
one.
Eagles.
Yeah, I mean he's stood toe to toe with them several times. But yeah, for some reason Dallas shows, like when he plays Dallas, like Dallas just annihilates him for some reason. And like I'm not even saying that because I'm a Cowboys fan, but I'm like legit. Like Daniel does not play well against Dallas for some reason. So yeah, I think 3-1. Ooh, the Rams at Chicago. Oh my God, your first team ever versus your team because of your family roots, and like, man, in Chicago, that's gonna be, man. Oh wait, you're gonna be in Arizona, of course. We're
Yeah.
selfish saying that when
I,
you need it.
I was hoping that would be a December game, right? Because if you're looking for home field advantage, right, you want to have the Rams play in the cold. So too bad it
Right.
won't be
Oh man.
cold up there in Chicago. But
So
yeah,
what do
I
you
mean
think
that's a
that
good
game?
one.
Let's go to your
I
Bears.
think, oh man, that's tough. I want to say that's a win for the Bears. I think if their defense is good again, throwing that caveat there. If their defense is good,
Right.
I think they'll be able to stop Matthew Stafford. And plus, they've not this group of players, right? But as far as Chicago goes, they know Matthew Stafford very well from his days in Detroit. So I think that I think I would probably put the Bears down as a win there just because of the defense. Um,
Okay, so Dallas and Chicago starting 3-1 in our clean
But you
sheet
know,
floor mat.
but you know what though? I want to say this: like the Rams had a really good draft again,
Oh
so
yeah,
it's tough to this count them out of anything. They also picked up Blake Corum in the draft, right? They already had Kyron Williams, so now they have a dual-headed monster at the running back position. I don't know, man. That's gonna be a close one, but I'm gonna give it to the Bears this week.
so like we talked about, Sean McVay and the Rams, Detroit Lions and Campbell, and Lynch and Shanahan for San Francisco. Every draft, as soon as they became a part of that organization, they've hit every year. Of course, they've had every team has slump years, right? Because of injuries and like you losing a Super Bowl or whatever. But they've hit every time because they're still in the mix of stuff. That's a W. All right, what's up, Gabe? If Gabe's in here, everybody. That's Big Nate on that picture. What's up, Nate? But yeah, so Danny has Chicago at 3-1. Gabe, if you've been watching, do you agree? All right, so
Yeah, but,
Vikings at Packers.
now that you mentioned the quarter, I mean the coordinators, right, or the coaches. I think Sean McVay, right, Shane Waldron, our offensive coordinator, is a disciple of that system. So and he's been in Seattle the last couple of years. So what? Maybe I was thinking, the advantage is the Bears, but it might be the advantage goes to the Rams just because they're familiar with going up against Waldron for several years now.
Right.
But that's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out.
All right, so 3-1, 3-1, and then so you get Steelers, Colts, Broncos, Jets, Eagles, Buccaneers, 49ers, Pats, Cardinals, Commanders, Chiefs, Chargers. Oof, that's gonna be a division one. That starts saying a lot, right? Buffalo at Baltimore. Buffalo's not having it easy.
And
Jeez.
there's two Monday nights back to back that have two games, week 3, week 4, which is
Yeah.
crazy. I've never seen that in my life. So I
Yep.
like
Yep.
the
Yep.
I like the Seattle Detroit matchup. I think that's going to be a good one
So
to watch.
that's your sleeper,
Yeah,
or your
I
one
would say
that's gonna be the flash.
that's the one to watch. I mean, both Monday night matchups are pretty good. I mean, Titans, you don't know what kind of team they're going to be. Will Levis showed up last year. He was
I
kind of
think
figuring it out.
I think that might be the game that you know what I'm gonna go that game just because I think it might be super high scoring. Like Dolphins might get out on a decent lead, but then like Tennessee's gonna have to score consistently. So I think that week 4 matchup is gonna be like a onslaught of like touchdown, 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 touchdown. Because
Yeah.
remember last year that one game where Tennessee, it was Will Levis too. Like it was like his first game, I think, but like he had
I
a
think it was against
score.
the Steelers, wasn't it?
Yeah,
On Thursday
yeah,
night?
yeah, and he just had to keep scoring and like he balled out. But yeah, I think that might be the sleeper game for me, just because Tennessee's new regime looks like they know what they're doing, or they know what they want to do, and then of course Miami, like Tua has to stay healthy, right? Like that was like we're talking about clean sheets, so like if that dude is like bump and grind again like Burrow, like Miami will probably move off him next year.
There's been talks that they want to extend him, so who knows?
Yeah, like Dak Prescott. I mean, there's talks that they want to extend every quarterback, but I mean, I don't believe it until it happens because quarterback's the hardest position. So if you can't show up every Sunday consistently, like I'm, dude, I could pay a bunch of players 50 million each if we win a damn championship. We don't have to just pay you. But so you think Seattle and Lions that week is the good flash?
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, Vikings,
Jacksonville and
Packers are
Houston.
always good. Yeah, that one too. I mean, there's a lot of divisional games that I think are going to matter, right? To your point
Yeah.
earlier, you were saying that if a team goes 0-2 in a division, especially like the AFC South, I mean, it's pretty much a wrap.
Yep.
And so I think in this case, right, Jacksonville is going to be a better team this year. Um, and they weren't that far off last year, even with, all the injuries that they dealt with. But yeah, I think that's also a good one. They always play each other very well, just like the Vikings and the Packers do. So I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
that's
gonna
gonna be interesting to
that
see.
week 4 is gonna be interesting because they have a lot of division games that week, and a lot of people are gonna be, where are we at that point? Because it's 4 weeks in. So
Not
yeah.
only that, not only that, but you have Aaron Jones going to Green Bay, first time
Oh,
as a Viking.
I hope he beats the living tar out of them.
Yeah, I hope he scores like 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, like I
And
hope he
then,
just onslaughts. And plus, he knows how to run in that field, so it's not gonna be anything new to him. So
yeah,
like, yeah, I hope he just bruises them bad.
hope he scores 4 touchdowns and does a Lambeau leap.
I honestly, like, I have a few friends that are Packers fans. I mean, they're good friends, and but the last few years of like just Green Bay upsetting us in the playoffs and stuff, I just hope Green Bay just like, I hope the stadium just crashes. Like I just I don't, like uh week 5. Oh, that's a good
Bucks
division one.
Falcons.
That might be for the division lead at that point.
Hmm. Yeah, I think these are
Like
the clearly the
week
two
5,
favorites. Yeah.
right? That's gonna be what, Jets and Vikings, Panthers
You know
at
what's crazy
Bears.
though?
That's gonna be
The other day, the other day I was thinking to myself about their linebacker Devin White. It's like he's a stud. He's a stud linebacker. And as I was, I guess googling his name, it turns out he signed with the Eagles this offseason. I had no idea Devin White went to the Eagles. I don't know why they would let him go.
oh my
I
god.
mean, that dude
I
was a
don't know why
stud.
he would go to Philadelphia. No,
Mm.
tragic. Man, Dallas just watched everybody.
So that's a good one to start off the week. I like that
So,
one. That's a
oh,
good one.
that's a great one. The Ravens, Bengals. That's gonna be a popping one. You better start 4-1, because if you lose to the Panthers, they're gonna start. So yeah, so I think Chicago starts 4-1. If we're going to what you started them 3-1, they're gonna definitely beat Carolina. They better.
They're at home as
Um,
well, so they no
so
excuse.
Bills at Texans. Man, Bills have a hard schedule to start.
They do, man.
Yep.
I'm
Another
starting to
division
realize
game,
that
Colts and Jaguars.
Dolphins.
Look, back to back, back.
Go for it.
Yeah. Buffalo ain't getting no slack right now. And no, yeah. So the Colts and Jaguars. So Jacksonville has back to back division games. So that could hurt them big time.
Hmm.
There we go. Ooh, Patriots at Dolphins. Of course, they hate each other. Browns at Commanders. Broncos, Raiders. Packers, Rams. That's going to be a good one, I
Ooh,
think.
look at this right here.
Oh, yeah, I knew. We're the Sunday night game. I saw that earlier. So at Pittsburgh, man, that. So again, the new regime in Pittsburgh. I'm so just because they're home. Stupid Charles. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt, to be honest. So Dallas starts 3-2. They lose to Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh's at home. The terrible Tau. So much going on. They upset Pittsburgh last time in Pittsburgh, but that was when Dak and Zeke were rookies. So I'm sure Tomlin and the coaching staff remember that part. But
I
I
remember that
just
game.
think Pittsburgh has a slight advantage. Yeah, that was such a fun game. I was screaming. I think I was still working at Red Lobster. I was screaming. I was tripping. But yeah, I think it starts 3-2. They lose to Pittsburgh. Um, the Saints at Chiefs. My goodness, I think. And Derek Carr does not. I mean, he doesn't have good history. Being from the Raiders to the Chiefs, now the Saints to the Chiefs. I don't think that. I think that's a good win for the Chiefs. But
Yeah, I have to agree with you there.
all right. So we talked about the Bears, right?
Yeah. Well,
What do
we're
you
in
think?
agreement. I think
What's your fair assessment?
they need to win that one. I mean, I think they're kind of rebuilding right now. I mean, Panthers are not the same team they were last year, of course, right? They got a lot of good wide receivers this year. They drafted well, so who knows? But right now on paper, I mean, with the offensive weapons that we have, and we're at home, and our defense hopefully is still good. Yeah, I would say that this
Right.
is a win for sure. So it'd be 4-1. 4-1
So
going into, I believe, London, if I remember correctly.
Makes
I
sense.
believe this
What's
after
your
this.
game of the week possibly?
Bills Texans. I'm just fascinated with the Texans. I think that they have a really solid team, and I'm just curious to see how it all comes together. Right? They really, just like the Lions, they are aware of their championship window and they're looking to take advantage. And I think on paper they did that. So Bills, I mean, again, big question mark there. Don't know what kind of team they're going to be, but they have Josh Allen. I mean, you can't discredit Josh Allen or his production. So I think that continues, and it'll be a close game in my opinion. So
So I was gonna. Oh, go ahead.
no, go for it.
I was gonna go your route. Honestly, I was gonna say Bills and Texans. So since you went there, I'll go somewhere else. But I totally agree. That game is gonna be so impactful, and like the Bills are gonna find out who they really are by this point, right? Week 5, the daunting
Yeah.
schedule. So this week I'm gonna go Baltimore and Cincinnati, just because Burrow usually plays them well. Obviously,
Hmm.
I mean they've won division too the last several years. The Bengals have, so when he's healthy and they gone to the Super Bowl. I think this Week 5 matchup is gonna be like a massive like who's one in the division and who's third in the division because Pittsburgh's going to be right there and Cleveland's going to be right. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be like
Yeah.
who's at top, and then like whoever loses this game is going to fall like tremendously in the division. So yeah, I think that the Packers and Rams one's going to be a good sleeping one
That's a
also.
good one. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's another one that caught my eye. And it's going to be interesting to see. And I don't know how you feel about the 49ers this year. Usually, when they go to the Super Bowl, the next year is more like a bad year for them. So that's been every time they've made the Super Bowl, they've had an off year the next year. So I'm
really.
curious to see if that continues. And there's a lot of like negative news on their front, right? They have Brandon Ayuk wanting to get a trade. There's trade rumors with Debo Samuel. I mean,
There's
there's
so
just a
much
lot of
going
different
on.
distractions. Yeah. So who
So
knows if it?
yeah, dang it, Dave's going to be upset, but yeah, I think 49ers are an interesting team to watch this year because it might come crashing down. I mean, even last year they were saying like Kittle, he was one of the outspoken person. Debo, those two are outspoken. Like, hey man, like our window. I mean, it's not gonna stay open forever. We need to get it done. So yeah, like it's they're a fascinating team to watch for sure this year because it in 2025 that team may look way different.
Yeah.
So on to week
It,
6.
it goes back to having to pay all your superstars. I mean, it limits you after some time.
Uh, yep. And that's what makes the NFL so fascinating because like all the other ones like baseball, basketball, I mean they could pay whoever the heck they want. But basketball, they just want to play with their like play with each other. So 49ers at Seahawks division game to start that week. That's going to be a good one.
That's always a
Jaguars
good
at
matchup between those two.
Bears. Oh man.
Yeah, this is the London game. So look at the time. That
Uh,
sucks. Mountain Standard Time, 7:30 a.m. I hate watching football that early.
Mountain Standard Time. So you're gonna have to watch it at what 5 your time?
No, I think by that point that we should be on the same time zone, so we'll be good.
All right. So I'm trying to be fair, but I think that might be your first home loss.
Yeah,
So
and
you're what?
apparently, well, let's see. So this is apparently the Jaguars play in London back to back weeks. Um, week 5 they weren't in London, right? They were just regular time slots. So it's probably gonna be
I
week
think
7
so.
where they're. I mean,
Yeah,
they're
they did that
used to. It seems
last
like
year.
yeah, and it worked. At their benefit, they won both of those games. So I think right now they're used to doing that, and that gives them all the advantage. And Jags have good offense. I mean, you have Trevor Lawrence, that's really good quarterback, more experienced than Caleb Williams at this point, right? And they have really good weapons. They have Gabe Davis. They got rid of course, Calvin Ridley, but they got Gabe Davis. They got Christian Kirk. They got somebody else, I believe. Oh, they got AD Mitchell from the draft.
Yeah.
So I think, I mean, that's going to be a tough one, just not only because of the team that they're going up against, but because of the travel, the time zone difference. It's just a lot going against them right now. So at that point,
Yes.
what they'd be 4-2.
Right. 4-2. We're for standing tall. 4-2, and then I call me crazy. Week 6, when things are going kind of weird, and people are just trying to find each other. Washington can be a sleeper to upset Baltimore.
I like that. I can see
Dan
that happening.
Quinn can have his team, up at like kind of knowing who we are now. Let's get the flow going. And I think Baltimore would be like, oh man, the Commanders are coming in. And then I think they might get upset because Lamar sometimes sleeps on a team and then they don't win.
I'm telling you, man, Dan Quinn's gonna have his team ready to play. So
Oh yeah,
they're not gonna be,
Dallas.
yeah, they're not gonna be a beatable team like they were these last couple years, right? They're gonna be more structured, more, you know, hard nosed football team. So yeah, I could definitely see an upset there for the Ravens, or against the Ravens, I should say.
So Packers, Cardinals, Texans, Patriots, a division game, Buccaneers, Saints. That'll be a good one. Ooh, Browns at Eagles. Ooh, Titans at Colts division, Chargers, Broncos division, Steelers at Raiders. They hate each other. Falcons at Panthers, Lions at Cowboys. Oh man,
Ooh,
another
I like
a
that one.
rematch of last. Yeah, that one's gonna be intense. And
High
then
scoring.
Bengals. Oh yeah, Bengals at Giants. Yeah, they wanted us again in the playoffs, but of course we choked because stupid Cowboys. So Bills at Jets. But yeah, Lion. Oh man. Okay, so we beat them last year at home, and if we can kind of have the same momentum, I still think we beat them. So we'll be 4-2, and I think it'll be really close, just like last time. Like they were like, it was like what, a play away from whoever won. So
Three
I
two
think it'll
point
be this.
attempts away.
Yeah, see, like that goes back to that, and I think that's how we're gonna probably win this time. It's just like it's gonna be close. He's gonna go for it on some bonehead thing, and then our our goat kicker Aubrey will probably like get the game winning field goal, and then say la vie. I think it'll be like that same type of thing, that mindset. Campbell's gonna try to go for it and get pretty yet again, and I think that's what's gonna help us. So we'll start 4-2. All right, Danny, what's your the game to watch that week?
I'm just realizing the Bills have a tough schedule, man. They
Yeah, they do.
not gonna
It's
be
one of the
easy.
toughest
I would
from
say
what we've
probably,
seen.
yeah, it seems like it for sure. I would say I would probably select the 49ers and Seahawks here, just because of the way they always play each other. It seems to be really tight games. Even when, one of those teams are bad, it seems like they're still,
Oh,
going up
physical,
against each other. Yeah.
super
So
physical.
I think it would be a good game to start the week, to watch both of those teams. And again, we don't know what the NFC West is going to look like this year. It could be that the
Right.
Seahawks are probably the favorite this year, right? Who knows? But yeah, I'd probably select this one here.
Okay. Might go down. I think there was one that could be. Um. All right. I guess I'll just select a division game. And obviously, I don't think. Oh no, no, no. I'm sorry. Browns at Eagles. That one to me is gonna be a massive like it's gonna help Philly's favor against Dallas and Washington, or like Cleveland's perspective, it's gonna help them in their division, right? Like if they can beat Philly, it's gonna help them against Pittsburgh and the division fight. And then Philly, like if they lose to Cleveland, and I think that game right there is gonna be a physical like defense like it depends what Deshaun shows up, right? Like especially all year. Like this guy, they paid a ransom to get you, and you have not delivered whatsoever. So I mean, I was surprised that they didn't like try to get Flacco back, even though like he lost the playoff game. But I'm like, he was part of the reason why they made the playoffs. I would have tried to bring him back for sure, just because I'm like, dude, like we don't know what Deshaun's gonna like. We don't know what he's gonna do. So yeah, I think the Cleveland Philly game is going to be a really, really physical, like bruising game.
Yeah, I would say that'd be a good one there. But yeah, the Joe Flacco thing, I don't know why they didn't re-sign him. I'm not a big
Yeah.
believer in Deshaun Watson right now, so
I'm
I think
I don't think
they
Deshaun's a big believer in Deshaun.
yeah, that's true. I mean, you can see it in his play. I mean, he's just a different player from his time in Houston.
And Clemson. Like it's just like day and night difference. Broncos at Saints. And I hope I hope Bo Nix shows people wrong or proves people wrong. So Patriots, Jaguars, Seahawks, Falcons, Titans at Bills,
So,
Bengals at Browns.
so this is their second London game against the Patriots.
You're
That's a good
right.
one.
So Browns, Bengals, that'll be a good one. Packers, Texans, that's another good one.
Ooh, that's a good one right here.
Yeah.
Do you see? I don't know if you've noticed this, but do you see like the trend as from an NFL fan perspective, right? As we're going through each week, right? We're circling those games that are, I mean, at least from my perspective, I'm circling those games that are, includes two teams with high profile, deep offenses, right?
Right.
With two top offenses, and it just shows you from a fan perspective, right? Nobody circles those games that include like two top defenses, hard nosed game, right? We're always circling those shootouts that we want to see.
Why?
But
I mean, I did Philly, Cleveland, and I said that one was going to be
that's true.
physical. So. But
That's a
I agree with you though. Like a lot of like 99.9%, like we're like, oh man, this one's going to be high scoring. I'm pretty sure. And yeah, Texans and Packers, like, oof, that's going to be a game.
Yep, the two young quarterbacks going head to head,
Right.
and then at Lambeau, I think that's pretty. I mean, anytime anyone plays at Lambeau, I think that's pretty neat.
Dolphins, Colts, Vikings, Lions, Bears. Oh, look, Eagles, Giants, division game. Raiders, Chargers. So I guess that's
Two Monday
Dallas's
night
bye week
games.
already. Again.
This is crazy, man. It feels like we live in a weird time. We have games that
Every
are
day.
double headers on Monday Night Football. We have games, getting streamed on Netflix, streamed on Peacock. Like, I don't know. It's just
Prime
very, very
Video.
odd. Prime Video, yeah.
Jets at Steelers. That's a good one to watch.
Yep. I think secretly you're a Steelers fan. I'm sorry to say. You're gravitating to all the Steeler games.
Chiefs at 40. Well, yeah, because the Steelers have a tough. Well, the AFC North, I should say. They have the NFC East, and it looks like they have the AFC East also. So yeah, they don't have any easy
Super
games.
Bowl rematch.
That one, yeah, that one's gonna be so good. And and again, I think the Chiefs will just like they'll lose the whole game, and then like 2 seconds, Mahomes will be like, and then like
Watch.
San Francisco will blow it
Watch.
again.
The 49ers are going to win this one because it doesn't mean anything. And then they'll meet at the Super Bowl and still lose that
Probably,
one.
yeah. So yeah, so I guess Dallas'
I like,
bye week is that early. Jeez, we always have an early bye week. Why? Stupid Jerry
oh, there it
Jones.
is. Both the Cowboys and the Bears. Hey, hey now.
Wait, well, we both can't lose that game that week, so we're doing all right.
Hey, we'll
Wow, we
both be
both
happy
have
that
buys in
week.
the same week. That's all right. We should play Sean Madden that week.
All right, we'll make it happen.
That'd be funny. All right, Danny,
We
what's
got to
your
make it
game of the week
interesting.
since we both don't play? I know, right?
I wouldn't say Texans Packers. I really want to see what that matchup looks like. Again,
That's
kind
gonna
of like the
be
way that
a
you're
great game.
gravitating. Yeah, I think so too. And I think just like you're gravitating to the Steelers, I'm gravitating to the Texans to see, what kind of team they are. But Packers too, I
Right.
mean, right, where the Packers are up in the upward trend, right, in terms of productiveness and success. So it's going to be interesting to see again to go up against a really good Texans defense and see if Jared Love, what's his name, Jordan Love
Jordan.
is Jordan Love is for real.
I'm gonna
So
make that my new Madden guy, Jaron Love.
Jared Love
Jaron Love.
sounds like a porn star.
It sounds like a bad Subway sandwich.
That too.
Man, but yeah, the Texans Packers game, yeah, circle that one. That one's gonna be a banger. And going back to
Yeah.
what we talked about on the bottom, I think the 49ers Chiefs game is gonna be so good just because like I'm sure San Francisco's so tired of losing these for these fools, right? Like I honestly,
Yeah.
I as a fan, true fan, and I don't want to see it. I think this game might be like a the so like at the end it's gonna be so physical that like someone's gonna get roughed up. Like I think that game is gonna have someone kind of like walk off the field where it's like, hey, this dude's gonna be injured for a while just because like everyone's giving it their all. You know what I mean? Like now they're
Hmm.
not gonna be trying to be dirty. It's just that everyone's just gonna give it all. Where like it's just gonna be a bruising game. Jets at Steelers is gonna be a good one. The Ravens and Buccaneers is a great sleeping good game because Tampa Bay won the division last year and they're at home, so that's gonna be awesome to watch too. This is week 7, right? Damn, I'm flying by.
Yep. Week 7, and then look at this matchup: Chargers at Cardinals. I'm circling this one because I'll be in Arizona at that
And
point.
oh
So
man, my boy Herbert, and
yeah,
it should be high scoring to be honest.
yeah, I think that'd be a really. I mean, as an NFL fan, right? That'd be pretty cool to go watch that game in person.
Oh man, yeah, that's oh it's Monday night too, man. If we can plan that, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
But all right, so man,
That
so
was
we're
week
down to week
7.
8. I like this.
Week 8.
Man, where's everybody at? How many viewers we have? Chime in. Talk about your team. Talk about players. Talk about matchups. Vikings at Rams. Ooh, Ravens at Browns. That's gonna be a one to watch. Titans at Lions. That's gonna be a physical
That's
game.
a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. Colts at division. Colts and Texans. Damn, Packers and Jaguars. Like so, man, back to back. I think 3 straight games. Right, Green Bay had tough people to play. So it doesn't get any easier. And now they're going to Jacksonville, so that helps Jacksonville.
I think at this point, though, I mean, dang, Jags have been traveling. Well, maybe not traveling so much, right? Because I think their plan is that they'll be
They'll stay in
traveling.
London.
Yeah, they'll be in London already for the second matchup. But still, like having to come back from London, play the next week, that's surprising to me. Normally they have a bye week and then they'll play again, right? Because of all that travel. But
Cardinals
yeah,
at Dolphins. That's such a weird game, like because either team can just like they're one game away of like just popping it off, and it's just Bears at Commanders. Uncle
we
Gerard is looking at you right now.
yeah, Bears have a bad stretch at in Washington. I think they won last
Really?
year, but after like before last year, they pretty much lost every game they played in Washington
So
since like
history is not on your side.
yeah, it's like since 2001 they hadn't won there.
So you're
So
4-3 then. If you're going by history, you're going to be 4-3.
yeah, that sucks. But yeah, I'm gonna say it's a loss.
All right. So Saints, Chargers, Bills, Seahawks. Damn, Bills. Y'all better be ready. Ooh, Bengals at Eagles. And Eagles, that's gonna be a good one. Panthers and Broncos is fascinating just because like who's gonna be at the higher draft at that point? You know what I mean? Like who's gonna be or like are people going to be calling for Bryce Young's head already because it's year 2 and he loses to Bo Nix, the rookie? You know what I mean? Like that's like
Yep.
that's going to be fascinating. And then Chiefs Raiders division. Oh, Cowboys at 49ers, bro. We know how Dak is against them. Well, we're both 4-3 at that point. Well, what's good is that we both have a bye going into Washington and San Francisco. Thank the Lord.
That's true. I didn't think about that. That's a good
But the Steelers are gonna probably wipe the floor with the Giants. But yeah, Cowboy. I think if Dak shows up the way he's been showing up against San Francisco, we're just not gonna win. Like, and we're gonna be 4-3.
I'll throw it back to you. Who do you have right now in terms of the matchup of the week?
Um, you know what? Because it's what week 8, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And each team is going to be struggling at that point to try to find anything. Honestly, Carolina Denver is going to be a hell of a game because it's going to be at that midway point where so many teams are just like, bro, just give us something. So they're gonna go like balls to the wall, and I bet you that game's gonna be super high scoring.
Yeah, I can see
So
that.
that's gonna be a sleeper great game to watch is Carolina and Denver.
And that's good because that's not a game people would really pick, but you're seeing it
Right.
from a different perspective, which is good. I think you're right. I mean, I think that one has a lot of implications, even though they're not positive. Um, you're right. It could really determine the turnaround for that one of those two franchises, whether it be the Broncos or the Panthers.
Right. And then it just like whoever loses, well, I guess we know who's gonna get the better draft pick.
Yep. Gabe's pissed off at me because I selected Washington
Did he
to beat
comment
Chicago.
or did he text us?
He text.
Oh, but
Sorry,
yeah, I
Gabe.
mean, but at least you're going through history. Like I'm going through history. Dak does not. I mean, Dak. I mean, it's like weird. Like Dak could ball out anybody at any given time, but he goes to play San Francisco and he becomes Pee Wee Herman. Like I don't understand. Like he like walks into San Francisco, is like, and then like, so I'm going with history. Like I don't think he'll beat him again.
The
There's
only
those.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, and I think maybe Gabe doesn't see it because of we kicked the shit out of Washington last year, but Dan Quinn, I think it's a Dan Quinn factor for me. I
Yeah,
think
and
he really
it's
will.
new players for both sides. So I mean, yeah, it erases the whole like, well, Justin Fields beat him last year. Well, Justin Fields ain't the quarterback, you know.
Yeah,
So
Gabe said we broke the history streak last year. That's true, but let's see if it continues.
so we're
I
both
hope it
four and
does for your sake, for our sake. All right,
so
so week 9. Or I didn't
that's
pick mine, huh? Just real quick, I guess I'll pick it. I guess the one that I would circle this week would be the Bengals and Eagles. I haven't really shown too much love on the Eagles so far, but
you have
I think
to.
the Eagles are going to have a solid team. I mean, they drafted really well. They kept their team intact. Plus, they got their secondaries. It looks good on paper, right? So when you're comparing already the production that they have on the offensive side, and then you have the Bengals with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and their new rookie Burton and hope maybe T Higgins. I don't know. It's going to be a really good matchup, both from the offensive side, defensive perspective. I think they're evenly matched, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good one to watch for sure,
Yeah,
for sure. So we're both 4-3, right?
yeah.
As
Unfortunately,
I told you, dude. I said it. Wait, as soon as the free agent started, I was like, Dallas's like schedule this year is gonna be. So Texans at Jets, that's going to be a
that's a good one.
great one.
Yeah, I like that one.
Woo! And it's on, Thursday night. They always say it's bad, and then oh man, Cowboys and Falcons. And we're talking about Kirk Cousins and Dak. Oh, let's see what
Yeah.
happens. Like that's, like from what history says, Dallas should win. So we're 5-3. I think as much as I'm giving the love to the Atlanta Falcons because I love what they did all off season, like Dallas usually has had their number. So I think we're 5-3. Oh, Broncos at Ravens, Dolphins, Bills, Saints, Panthers division, Raiders, Bengals. That's a great sleeping game, especially at week 9, because each team is going to be fighting for their lives. Chargers, Browns. That's going to be another tough one. Bears at Cardinals. Danny, how do you feel?
What? That's not right, is it? Bears at Cardinals week 9.
Yeah, whoever told you on that text or whatever, they lied to you. Tell them go sleep till December.
Wow. Okay, yeah. I thought they were playing week 14. Shoot. I
Well, you
guess
told
we
me
were wrong.
Dallas was in Dallas against Cleveland, so whoever's been helping your rumor mill is definitely spreading rumors.
Right? That's why I'm not Adam Schefter here.
Oh, speaking of Adam Schefter, did you see he did on his post?
No.
Bro, good for him, and it was classic. So, did you see that the NBA draft lottery already happened?
Yeah.
Okay, so the Atlanta Hawks are picking first, like they won the lottery. So he put up the whole like Atlanta, and he put everyone like all the way through the lottery, right? And he goes, and then he posted right after Adam Schefter. the Atlanta Hawks are expected to take a quarterback for the first round pick. And I was like, yes, yes, good for
I
you,
love
bro.
it.
Yeah, I was like, good for you, bro. But I was like, dude, that's so true because everyone's still trying to trip out about the
Uh,
Penix draft pick. So like, yeah, he's like the Atlanta Hawks are expected to pick a quarterback for the first pick. I was like, dude,
oh,
that's
that
awesome.
that was awesome. Nah, good for him.
Yeah, but
Take.
yeah, so oh man, so yeah, you get the Bears at Cardinals. So what do you think?
I think that's a win. I think as it is, right? I'm not sure if you're familiar with how well Bears fans travel or not. But Cardinals, whenever we go and play in Arizona, it's like a Bears home game. It's just crazy to see. So really, there's no home field advantage for the Cardinals there. Um, I think they're gonna have a better team than they did last year, but I think we're a better team than we were last year. So yeah, I would mark that down as a W for the Bears for sure.
So we're
It's gonna be
five and
fun though.
three.
Yeah, we're both 5-3, which is good. I'm excited for that matchup because we get to see Caleb Williams live in person. I get to see Marvin Harrison Jr. That's gonna
Right.
be awesome.
So you're going for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's no question about it.
That's awesome. So, but okay, look at the two games right below. Lions at Green Bay, great game. Rams at Seattle, great game.
Yep.
Like, oh, even right there, Jacksonville at
Yeah.
Philly. Those three games right there. Buccaneers at Chiefs. Like that, the last four games of that week is just amazing. Honestly, you could pick any game to be game of the week.
Yeah. For sure. I love it. I think that all these games are divisional games with the exception of the Jaguars and Eagles. But again, you and I seem to be on the same train here when it comes to the Jags, and they're going to be a much better team this year.
Right.
So to put them on prime time against the Eagles, I think that's going to be. I mean, not something we're used to, right? As NFL fans to see the Jags in prime time.
I
So it's going to
love it.
be, yeah, me too. I love to see new teams that are not used to like being shown on prime time.
Yeah, so like those four games, like I'm stoked. Like at first I was gonna choose the Lions and Packers, and then I kept reading, and I was like, which one to choose from? Like that's so cool.
You need to come down to Arizona for this week, so that
That'd
way you
be
can come
dope.
to the
So we
game
can
with
we
us.
and then yeah, we can watch Dallas to start, and then we'll go to the game.
Yeah, I mean, as it is, right? We usually tailgate, so we'll have some TVs there. We'll be able to watch the game. So let's do it.
So what's
Week
the date?
week 9, October. Oh, it's Halloween weekend. It's crazy.
It's October. Oh, it is. So it's November 3rd, huh? Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty cool weekend if you think about it. Usually the World Series is going on around this time frame as well. So there's
Go
gonna be a lot of
Yankees.
things.
Imagine if it's the
That's
Yankees and Cubs or Yankees at Dodgers. Like it would be the most watched World Series probably ever at that point because the
yeah,
Dodgers are doing amazing. The Cubs I think are surprising several people. Not you Cubs fans, but like overall MLB people are like, man, the Cubs are looking pretty hot. And then of course the Yankees are finally doing what Yankees are supposed to do and actually like be the bull of the AL. So
they just got to stay healthy. That's the big thing.
yeah. Oh yeah. Stupid Judge and Stanton. But Soto, I think Soto's been a godsend because like he just brought. We're talking about swag, right? Like that, like it factor. And Judge and Stanton are just athletically gifted and they're freaks, right? Like they could just like barely swing. That thing's gone. Like they're just freaks. But Soto's just like arrogant, and just hey, like he's the old Derek Jeter and like Ortiz like rivalry. Like it was just like they would just go in the back and just slug it out. And then that's what we
Yeah,
needed. And that's what Soto is. Like he's just like, hey man, hey. Like, he's just like all out there. And I that's what's helped them big time.
you can see
Verdugo.
that it changed the dynamic of the ball club.
Yeah, the Verdugo thing too. He's stepped too. Like, man, I'm really happy with the damn Yankees. And what's cool, Soto, I might get a Soto jersey just because he wears my favorite numbers. So
22.
yeah, two. But yeah, all right, week 10, bro. Ooh, man, Bengals and Ravens to start. Let's go.
That's a good one.
Yeah, Panthers and Giants. All right, we're for pick number one. Whoop, whoop.
Doesn't it seem like the NFL finally figure out how to like match up the Thursday night game? Because it seemed like when Thursday night football first started, they just picked like the worst teams to play on Thursday night. Now it seems like more strategic.
They pick a team that's either heavily favored and then a team that was struggling, and it was just
Yeah,
like
yeah. It was David versus Goliath.
Patriots at Bears, two rookies, Drake Mee, Caleb Williams. Who you got, Danny?
Caleb Williams
You
all day, every day.
better hope, man. That's gonna be a weird game to watch, to be honest, because like the even though Belichick's not there, the Patriot. I mean, Robert Kraft is not gonna let his team be irrelevant, right? So that one's gonna be a good game, just because like each team's gonna be like, hey man, we drafted you, so you gotta go beat the other quarterback, okay? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so like that's gonna be fun. So 6-3, the Bears are 6-3, going on our sheet. Bills and Colts, Jaguars at Vikings. That's kind of Broncos at Chiefs division game. Bo Nix, man, upset those Chiefs. Falcons at Saints, good division. It's 49ers, Bucks, Steelers, Commanders. Oh my goodness, our first Philly matchup, and
Ooh.
we're at home, so we're gonna be 6-3 because we usually go 1-1, and whoever's the home team is the one that wins. So we're 6-3 up to this point.
Was that the case last year? I thought you guys lost at home and won at Philly.
I don't
I want to
know.
say because the Eagles were winning by a lot in Dallas, and then you guys came back and almost won. I mean, almost tied it, but
Then we
something. I think you
lost.
guys, yeah, you got stopped short of the end zone. I think it was a tight end, if I remember correctly.
That might be, but in history, like you said, like you broke the curse at Washington last year. But like if we're going by history, for some reason with Jalen Hurts and Dak, whoever's at home is usually the winner. So I'm going to stick to the history side of it. So Dallas wins. So we're 6-3. Lions Texans. There you go, man. Give some love because that's going to be a hell of a game Sunday night.
Ah, that's a good one.
Good for them both, because when have you ever seen the Lions and Texans on Sunday night together?
Yeah,
I mean,
I
don't
can't recall
remember.
that ever.
Good for them. Heck yeah. Good job. Detroit and Houston. H-Town.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Good job, Uncle Gerard. H-Town's on the mix. The Dolphins at Rams. That'll be a good one.
I mean, there's a lot of good matchups this week.
Yeah.
I think early on we were struggling to find, some matchups week over week, but I mean, there's just a lot going on.
Yeah, this was
Broncos. Yeah, this is week 10. So Broncos, Chiefs, I mean, they always play each other really tight. They know each other very well. It's kind of like any divisional game, right?
Right.
When divisional opponents face each other, they're kind of familiar with each other. And then you have the Jets at Cardinals. That's also a good one. I mean, you have Aaron Rodgers going into the Arizona. You have the Eagles, Cowboys. That's a good matchup. But my favorite has to be this one, the Lions, Texans.
Man,
I think you're in agreement.
All right, it's gonna be awesome. Like, and just the fact that they're both on Sunday night, like it's not even on Fox or CBS, like around all the other games. It's like let's label and show the Lions and the Texans like muscle, and like I can't wait for that game, to be honest.
Week 11. How we looking?
All right, let's see. Oh, division to start. Let's go. I hope.
That's a good one.
And you know what, Uncle G, I'm definitely going for you against Philly. So hopefully Commanders get an upset there that week so that 2 straight division losses for Philly, if that happens, that would be so awesome.
That'd be good for you guys.
Yeah, heck yeah. Packers at Bears. Let's go.
Yes.
Man, y'all, you guys need to break that trend. Like, you need to stop being like the little puppy to Green Bay for sure.
Yeah. Enough with losing to Green Bay. It has to stop. It has to stop now. And if you think about it, I don't know if you've realized this so far, but the Bears haven't played a divisional opponent up until this point.
Right.
So based off of our projections, they're 6-3, heading into a time where they're going to be playing a lot of divisional opponents, which know each other. So it can get ugly. All right, they can have a really downward trend. Yeah. So
it's going to be a roller
not
coaster from this point on.
But if you think about it, from Caleb Williams' rookie season, what a better way to start than to beat the rivals that's been kicking your ass or kicking the franchise ass for several years.
At
Going
home. So
into
that's what the help.
exactly that's gonna help. But even then, at Green Bay, I would hope he'd do the same thing. Um, but yeah, again, I'm putting a lot on his shoulders as a rookie. So, um, oh man, it's tough. My heart wants to tell me the Bears, but all the disappointment, all the heartache, I'm gonna go with the
piss
Packers
off,
here.
piss off big. Yay, piss off Gabe. Woo. All right. So we're 6-4.
Prove me
Chicago.
wrong, Bears. Prove
You
me
know what?
wrong.
See, and that's what I agree with you. Like, like the whole Dak in San Francisco. Prove me wrong, bro. Like, go and ball them out this time. Like, don't be the little puppy. Like, don't get your ass beat. But I agree. Like history, like Chicago, for some reason, even last year, for the fact that Aaron Rodgers tweeted after you guys lost to Green Bay, just made me so sick, bro. He's like, well, at least we're keeping it. We're keeping it going. And I'm like, Gabe, no. But I mean, I have to agree until you prove it. You're 6-4. You're probably gonna lose a Green Bay because for some reason it's Matt LaFleur. Because like before, like Mike McCarthy, you guys had some games where you guys kind of like competed, right? Like, and you guys kind of won. But the Matt LaFleur era, like you guys cannot beat Green Bay to save your life for some
Yeah.
reason. So 7-4 or 6-4, I agree. So Jaguars at Lions, great game. Raiders and Dolphins, sneaky good game because where we're at in the season. Rams at Patriots, Browns at Saints. Whew.
That's a good one too. The Raiders Dolphins. If you think about it, you
Yeah.
have Wilkins going up against his former team,
Right.
right? So he's gonna have some extra motivation for that game.
For sure. Ooh, Ravens at. Oh man, that game's gonna be so good.
They always
Vikings,
are.
Titans, yeah. Broncos, Falcons. That's gonna be intriguing because that'll definitely be a telltale sign where Bo is as a rookie, and then where the Falcons are in their division. Bless you. The
Thank you.
Seahawks, 49ers again. They play each other for the second time already, and like we said earlier, like they go at it. Bills, Chiefs. All right, little brother gonna get their ass beat again. Whoop whoop.
I hope Xavier Worthy fucking has a game.
Dude, and I'm like, what? Bengals, Chargers, another great sneaky game. Colts and ooh, let's go.
The Lone Star matchup here
on Monday night. That's gonna be so epic. And you
Oh,
know what's
man.
crazy? History says that we'll pull through. We have the better record against them overall. And I think as much as Dak frustrates me, it's like when he was year 2, right? Like he still had some flashes and greatness, but like but he still, there's times in games where just like it's kind of harsh. So I think since we're at home, we pull it off. If we were in Houston, I think we lose, but we're at home. Do you know that when Texans do anything good, JJ Watt gets that Tony Romo play sent to him at least 350 times a year. So like if Texans are doing good or like they're like, oh, we're better than Cowboys, fans will send him that specific play. And you know what? Him and Tony Romo actually sat down recently on a podcast or something. And that's how I found out about it. Like he told Tony, he's like, bro, like I get sent this over 300 times a year. If we are looking better than you guys, or like we just think we're looking better, he's like, fans will put me in my place and show me this play. He's like, not only was this, it was the best jump I ever got and a precept. He was like, I honestly thought I was going to get offsides. And he goes, and I don't know what you did or do because you're not even looking my way, but your awareness, you're like, oh man, he's probably coming. So you swiveled, had no idea. You throw the game-winning touchdown. He's like, what hurts the most is not because you guys were already beating us down. He goes, this is the game-winning touchdown that we never came back from because you guys ended up winning because of that play. And he goes, it's so sickening because once I'm starting to feel good about the Texas, Cowboy fan will straight up send me that play and remind me that we're the little brother in Dallas or in Texas. But yeah, if we're at home, I'm giving us the slight advantage, so it'll be 7-3. If we were in Houston, I would give it to Houston.
Gabe says you're on crack.
The good kind or the bad kind?
Oh man, that's funny.
Stop smoking that shit, Jay. But I agree though. Like if we were away, then I would give it to Houston. But since I think we're at home, I think the advantage is us.
That's gonna be a good one.
It's Monday
Man,
night. That's gonna be a great game though.
I wish I was there.
Yeah, like that'd
So
be imagine being at that game. Like that'd be so cool.
no, but I just wish I would be in El Paso. I mean, to
Oh
watch a
yeah, for
game
us
with
to
you
hang out.
guys
Yeah, and be going, and
and
then you guys can tell me to stop
Beto,
smoking. Well, Beto would
maybe.
walk in. Beto would walk in like, "Oh, there's a game on." Oh,
Oh
Justin's
man.
here. We're the midgets, bro. But yeah, that'd be cool. Remember, Quinn is not there no more. Well, what he did for us in the playoffs, trust me. I was so mad at him
That's
for
true,
not
Gabe.
for
G-
him to not make adjustments. I was so pissed.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. It all came unraveling on that game, but that's true. Gabe brings up a good point with the Cowboys, right? How are they going to respond not having Dan Quinn? Because it seemed like the whole defense gravitated towards him, right? So Mike Zimmer is not a slouch by any means as a defensive coordinator. So I was just going to
Okay,
see if they go. Yeah, go for it.
no, I was like saying okay because I was gonna chime into whatever you were gonna say. So finish what you
No,
were saying and then
pretty much I was just saying that Mike Zimmer, right? You don't know how he's gonna, what kind of impact he's gonna have with those players, right?
so one it goes back to like whole mindset, right? Like you and I we always talk about the X's and O's and stuff. Our players that are talented as they be, the Diggs, the Parsons, the Lawrences, we have some talented players. So we had a coach that was like, "Hey, what's up?" Like all buddy buddy with them, and that brought them like comfortability or whatever. Now we have a coach that says, "I don't care what your number is. I don't care what your name is. If you don't show up, your ass is grass." And Parsons has already said, like, "Hey, man, I'm kind of liking this new field because it's giving us a different perspective of where we're from because now he's calling us out."
Hmm.
And going back to the whole, how are you going to fare? If we're going to go to history and Mike Zimmer, no slouch, right? The last time Dallas had an overall number one defense throughout the whole season, Mike Zimmer was our defensive coordinator. That was our Quincy Carter year against the Carolina Panthers, where he ended up losing to them in the playoffs, and then, of course Carolina went to go play the Patriots in the Super Bowl with Jake Delhomme and all them. But that was the last time we had a number one overall defense. Was Mike Zimmer was at the helm. So I'm favoring that part. Like, all right, at least he can bring a team together, and plus the draft picks. Like I said, like it wasn't flashy to by all means, but it wasn't supposed to be because where we're heading, and we have a lot of players that are coming off injured reserve. So I'm like, you put those pieces together with the new pieces, I think he can mesh them really well, and so I'm excited. And like Bland and Diggs together have what the most interceptions like in the last 2 years as a tandem. So
Yep.
you put them alongside with just drafting the guy who had the most interceptions in college that year. Like the kid that they drafted, the cornerback, apparently he was tied or if not had the most interceptions of all of college last year. So I'm like, hopefully if that, I mean, hopefully he says he still intercepts the ball, but uh, so this is week what is this, week 11 or 12?
Yeah, week 11. I thought this was gonna. Oh, week 12. Sorry. I thought this was gonna be the week where it was Thanksgiving week, but apparently it's the other one. I guess the season started earlier this
It's
year.
a week earlier, yeah.
Okay, that's why.
So yeah,
I
so
got,
it's Brown Steelers, great game to start the week. Yeah, like you said, Thursday night they got some bangers, right? So like division games and contending
yeah,
teams. Panthers are just gonna get whitewashed. All right, Vikings at Bears. Since we're here, we're on the topic. Do we
that's a
you
win.
you win? All right, so now we're what 7-4, right?
Yeah.
So
Wait.
seven
Uh,
seven.
we won last week, right? Yeah. I think I.
No, you said you lost to Green Bay.
Oh, that was the Green Bay game.
Yeah, so now you're 7-4, right? Because you were
Yep.
6-4. Now you're 7-4. Okay.
Yep.
So 7-4, which I agree. I think you beat JJ McCarthy at home, and I still don't trust. We have to see what he is, right? And So Lions at Colts. That's Patriots, Dolphins division game. Buccaneers, Giants. So Cowboys at Washington. Man, so that's the first game we play with Dan against Dan Quinn, right? And like you said, they're gonna be balling. Like they're not gonna, and then everyone's gonna go for a revenge factor, right? Especially for Dan Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
I, uh, I think they get the upset win. So we're what 7-4 now, like you guys. I think I'm leaning towards us winning, but since how the whole thing's unraveling and a lot of animosity in Washington, Dan Quinn's new regime, we're gonna probably beat them at home. So then we'll be 7-4. They'll upset us. And then Broncos or Raiders, great division game. Packers 49ers, a game to watch for sure. Seattle, Arizona, Philly, and the Eagles at Rams, like that's a great game to watch too. Chargers and Ravens,
The brothers.
that's gonna be a fun that's oh man, that probably has to be my watch of the week because just
Mine too.
because just because like the brothers and like oh man, yeah, heck yeah. And the little brothers at home, let's go. But yeah, so I think Washington has a chance to pull up that upset because they're at home that at that time. So I'll give it to them. 7-4. We're each going into week 13.
This is Thanksgiving weekend.
Ooh, woo! It is Bears at Lions. So what do you say?
History says that we're gonna win this game. And honestly, like the last 2 years, we've had their number. Yes, we've given up leads to them, right? We should have won that the first matchup last year. Um, and then the second time we played them last season, we figured them out, right? So I think when it comes to the Lions in general, I think the Bears just know how to play against them very well. And
Right.
then we also have the Jared Goff effect. I think the Bears know how to play against Jared Goff too. They know how to rattle him. And then Lions, other than last year, right? They lose most of their Thanksgiving games. So I'm gonna go based
Really?
off of all of that history. I'm gonna pick the Bears to upset
So
them.
upset. So 8-4.
Hmm.
And then the division might be there for the taking, right? Because I mean, everyone with the
At
Packers,
that
the,
point,
the Lions, yeah, those three. If you guys are all like around 8-4, 9-3, like that's gonna be close. Dallas is gonna just destroy Daniel Jones on Thanksgiving. Like I'm just not even gonna question that. So we're both 8-4 going into week 13, which is awesome, or week 14, whichever it is. So that's awesome. That's a good thing. And then the Dolphins at Green Bay to end the night. That's going to be a great game to watch. That should be high scoring. I mean,
yeah,
that should be touchdown, 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 touchdown. And then so we get the
Friday. There's a Black Friday game. I
oh yeah,
forgot.
yeah, yeah. It's the first Black Friday game, right? Or was that last
Hmm.
year?
Last year was the first time. Yeah.
Yeah, so then now we get the second one. So yeah, the Chiefs and Raiders, that's awesome because it's a division game. So they knew what they were doing. They didn't put any like, you know, one team of like worse or whatever. So December 1st, Bengals. So Chargers, Falcons, that's a sleeper good one. Of course, the division, Bengals, Steelers, that's always good. Texans at
Hmm.
Jaguars, that's going to be a massive game to see who's even probably first in the division, right? So that's going to be a massive one. Cardinals, Vikings, Colts, Patriots, Seahawks, Jets. That's going to be a physical freaking game. Titans and Washington. That could be an awesome game to watch because the physicality and scoring.
Hmm.
Buccaneers should whitewash the Panthers. Rams at Saints. Rams should. I take the Rams on that one. Ooh, Eagles at come on, Baltimore. If there's a time where I want them to just run wild, that would be the game. So Eagles at Baltimore, that's gonna be a great game. 49ers, Bills, that's an intriguing game, right? Because you said like the history says San Francisco has a slouching year after they lose, and then we don't know what Buffalo's going to be. So
Hmm.
we'll see how both teams are at that point. Like if they're scraping the playoffs or whatever. Browns and Broncos. That's kind of an intriguing game just because like you just don't know with those two. Like they could be.
They could be
Uh,
bad.
yeah, they could be terrible. Yeah, like Deshaun could be Deshaun. So who knows? So we're what both 8-4. They'll that week, that Thanksgiving weekend was a great great
Yeah,
matchups all the way around, man.
yeah, that's
I'm
gonna be
excited
fun.
for that week. Yeah, for sure. Eight and
All
four.
right,
Let's go.
let's skip ahead. That I know we're spending a lot of time, and we're getting to the 2 hour mark. So
Really?
yeah, it got here
Man,
quick, huh?
already? That's crazy. Let's go. But that's good. We're almost done with this. I mean, we only week
Yeah, a
18. We'll
couple
be all right.
weeks.
So, Green Bay at Detroit. Oof, that's gonna be a badass game. I'm
Yeah, I
I'm
love
going
it.
for Detroit, obviously, on that one. Detroit or Jets, Dolphins, Falcons, Vikings, Saints, Giants, Panthers, Eagles, Browns at Steelers. Another good game to watch. Those teams hate each other. Physical always. Raiders at Buccaneers. That's intriguing because they're both going to be fighting for their lives probably at that point to see what's going on with their playoff hopes. Jaguars at Titans. Another division game. That's awesome. Seahawks, Cardinals division. Bills at Rams. Damn, like, do the Bills get a break? Like, have they played anybody that's not good or?
Nope.
Oh,
Xavier Worthy could
Bear
be.
Bears at 49ers, Danny.
Yeah, no, that's a loss. I think.
All right. At least we're being logical. So Bears
Yeah,
at 49ers. So you're 8-5, which is not bad considering from where you were last year, right? I mean, that's so much way better if that holds true. Chargers, Chiefs. Ooh, great division Sunday night game. And then Monday night. Who's Monday night? We have two Monday night games this year. So
what
Bengals
a
at
surprise.
Cows. I know, right? No, we only had one last year. But you know what?
Uh,
What's cool though is that we already beat Burrow at home, and I think, and that
that's
was when
true.
we were struggling at that time. So if we can kind of stay with the momentum, I think we upset. I think we beat them again at home.
And that was
And
after the Super Bowl appearance, right? It was the season after that you guys
yeah,
played them a week two.
yeah, and we were like not looking good. And then that was when we started. That week two is when we started to like after we upset them and came back and won. Then we like had a few good wins after that. But like we lost to what the Buccaneers or someone like we got destroyed week one, and then we were not doing good that game. Like we were losing. And then we came like Micah's the one that changed the game. I think he hit Burrow and it was like a sack fumble or something, and then that's what changed the game. And then we ended up winning, and then we rallied a few. So we're 9-4 at that point because I think we'll beat Baltimore or Cincinnati at home. We're gonna lose to Pittsburgh and Baltimore, but I think we'll beat the Browns and Bengals in that division. We'll go 2-2,
All right. So you have a better record than the Bears right now by one game. And that's important because especially
fighting
if
for a
they're gonna
playoff
be
spot.
yeah, for positioning, right? So
So, ooh, man, Rams at 49ers, great division. So Dallas, that's not even question this one. Like Dallas should just destroy Carolina by like just the advantage of the quarterback, right? Like Dak pisses me off at times, but like just the veterancy compared to the second year quarterback, like especially when now it's December, things are getting groggy. And the last few years that we played Carolina, we've destroyed them. It didn't matter if it was young or Darnold or whatever. Like we just whitewashed them. So that means we're 10-4, 10-4. So I'm down with that. Bengals or Browns and Chiefs, man, that's gonna be a good game. Dolphins Texans, another shootout. Jaguars Jets, that might be a shoot. No, that'll be a physical game. Saints Commanders, that'll be a good one. Baltimore's gonna destroy the Giants. Bengals Titans, that's a good sleepy game
yeah.
for sure to circle. Patriots and Cardinals, you're gonna see who drafts better. Colts Broncos, same thing basically. Who gets the better draft pick? Bills Lions, Jesus, the Bills. Man, no one's gonna circle like the Buffalo Bills this year. Like they're playing every playoff team. It seemed like Buccaneers Chargers. That's a good sleeping. Ooh, here we go. Pittsburgh, the Pennsylvania team. Pittsburgh at Philly. That's gonna be a great game. They always play each other physical. They don't like each other because they're across each other's streets. Seattle Green Bay, good physical game. That's MB. That's a negative. Bears at Vikings this time. Danny, still you go to no against your division rival.
Yeah, I'm gonna say they beat the Vikings twice this year.
All right, so you're 9-5,
And the only
and then
reason I'm picking the Bears against the Vikings is I don't know. JJ McCarthy, I don't know if he's going to be playing or not. I don't know if he's going to be the starter, but they have Sam Darnold, and I don't trust in Sam
Yeah,
Darnold.
like I'll put Kirk Cousins over Darnold any day. So if Kirk Cousins there, then obviously you guys have a harder and McCarthy there are question marks. So I give you that. So you're 9-5. Dallas is what 10-4.
Hmm.
So not bad.
Oh, there's two Monday nights. Wow,
Oh,
NFL's not playing around this year.
that's a good sneaky game because Falcons at that point are going to try to fight for the division top over the Buccaneers or possibly the Saints, not probably not the Panthers. And then of course the Raiders are going to be fighting for their playoff lives at that point, I'm sure, because I mean their whole division is going to be good. Maybe other than the Broncos, but like you got the Chiefs and Chargers, so good luck on that one.
What a weird year, man. Seeing all these back-to-back Monday night games. It's crazy. All right.
Oh,
Another
Browns bang, another division game to start. Let's go. Chiefs
that's a good one.
Texans. Oh man, that's gonna be such a good game.
Saturday. Now we hit the Saturday slate, right?
Oh
Where
yeah. Ooh,
games
look at
are on
those. Both
Saturdays.
those games are gonna be great.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm excited for that one.
What a way to
Falcon.
start it.
I pick Kirk Cousins over Daniel Jones. Division game. Patriots. It doesn't matter who. I mean, Farmer Frank could be playing for the Patriots, and they always play the Bills good. So Cardinals, Panthers. That's. Oof. Oh, Lions at Bears, Danny. What do you say?
Mm,
You go 2-0 against the Lions?
I think the story has a happy ending. I'm gonna say yeah, 2-0 against the Lions.
Ooh, damn. That means Detroit will have a slip off from last year, which makes sense. I mean, you can't go to the NFC Championship game.
Oh, that's
Every.
true. You're speaking some logic there. I don't think they have a slip up. I think the Lions are still gonna be the Lions. Um, I'll give it to Lions.
Okay, so
So
you
it'll
go
be
one
nine
and
and
one,
six.
nine
Yeah,
and six. Hey, that's still like because there's what 7 teams now in the playoffs. So like you still whatever it is.
still have a chance. Yeah,
Yeah, you guys. I mean, because the NFC South, they're not going to have more than two probably.
yeah,
The the East is always one or like 2 to 3. The other one, it just depends. So, and then right here, right now, like we're talking about the East. So one of these teams right now, Washington and Eagles, are going to take each other out of the playoffs right this game, just because of like how close it is to January or whatever. Like this game right here is going to be a telltale sign of who gets knocked out, right? So
yeah,
because I think the Commanders are going to compete for a while. They may not win the division, or they may not end up 2, but they're for sure going to be a close 3. Like they're going to be there.
yeah,
So Vikings, Seahawks, Raiders, Jaguars. This game right here, I think Jacksonville probably takes Raiders out of like the hopes of like let's push for that playoff berth. And then 49ers Dolphins, that could be another game that just kills a dream for somebody.
hmm
Buccaneers and Cowboys. This one's tough. The Buccaneers always play us well, but they don't have Tom Brady.
yep,
I damn Dallas, like I guess you did kind of get a favorable schedule. I thought it was gonna be a lot worse, to be honest. And honestly, I'm calling this fair just because we're at home. So that makes us what 11-4. I think just the division games and the AFC North is what scares me, and the San Francisco's game. But yeah, so I think we beat the Bucks at home. So that'd be 11-4. You guys are what 9-6 or something?
6. Hmm.
Yeah, 9-6, and then Green Bay should beat the Saints. So man, oh man, this is getting crazy because we're just talking about our records, right? We're not talking about the Commanders, the Eagles, the Packers, the Lions. We're not talking about their records. So I mean, it's going to be intense.
Yeah, we'll have to do that next time in another episode where we kind of rank the division, each division by division, right?
We'll say who wins and why's and like who loses and why. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, I like that.
So
All
week
right, week 17.
17, pushing to shove.
Oh, this is Christmas week, and there's
Well,
two games on
those are the
Wednesday.
Netflix. That's Christmas Day.
Uh, Interesting.
Yeah, that's wild, huh? Damn. So Netflix got some good games, bro. They ain't playing around. They paid for some
Yeah,
good games. So Chiefs, Steelers, and oh man, and right here, Chiefs could help Baltimore, or right here, Houston could help Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? Like this is going to be a great time of year. It's beginning
Yeah.
to look a lot like football. Seattle and Chicago. All right, Danny, that's going to be a tough one.
Thursday night, but we're at home. So I will say we'll be 10-6 for this one.
So you win,
Uh,
and because
yeah.
Geno Smith is inconsistent too, right? So like, so
Yeah.
you never know what you're. Even though Seattle's always physical, yeah, I think you guys can pull this one off for sure, and then make it 10-6. That's pretty good compared to having the number one pick, right, and the number ninth pick.
Yeah. That's going to be so weird, man. We have football on Wednesday, football on Thursday, and then Sunday. It's
How do
just
you
so
have?
odd.
Okay, so how do they have it on Wednesday? Because when did Pittsburgh, like the week before, when did they all play? Because
That-
if one of them is playing a late Sunday game in their time zone, and then you're gonna send them like straight to Wednesday.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to recover.
Okay,
Okay.
so they play Saturday. Okay, so they okay. Wow, so they just flip flop.
Yeah.
I'm okay with this because they just go from Saturday and then they just flip flop because then now Houston goes okay. At least they didn't make them play on Sunday.
Yeah.
That's a little better. It's basically time frame. It's basically having a Sunday game and then playing Thursday night because now you're playing Saturday and you're playing Wednesday.
yeah, they get the same amount of rest that they would
Rest time.
get, right?
Yeah,
So,
okay.
yeah.
So that's fair. And it's crazy that every team is playing the exact, but they just flip flop and they're playing each other. That's hilarious.
crazy.
That is wild. That is wild. So okay, Bears up win. Okay, so Jets and Bills, depending on who's what and who's heavy, like that could get whoever gets second or wins the division.
Mm-hmm.
See, Titans, Jaguars, that's going to be another one. The deciding factor.
Those are always good
Packers,
matchups.
yeah, Packers at Vikings. Packers should win. Saints, Raiders, Panthers, Bucks. Oh, here we go, Philly. Damn, here we go.
Ooh, second matchup.
There's our second loss or our first loss to them. So we're what 11-5.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, I don't think we're winning that game. 11-5. So we're gonna end up 12-5. Not
Why
bad.
are these?
Because
This
that's when they start flexing. Remember? Because like it's the
okay.
most important game. Blah blah blah.
There's a lot of teams not scheduled yet. That's crazy.
Yeah, because they're probably impactful. That's wild.
Yeah, it's a weird year, man. It's crazy. All right, so that's
so we're 11-5.
11-5, and we're 10-6.
All right. We're gonna end up 12-5 because I already said we would beat Washington at home. We'd go 1-1. So we're 12-5. Like I said, Washington will beat us at their stadium, and then we'll beat them at home. So we'll be 1-1 against them in the division. Oh, Bears at Packers to end the year. Oh, Jesus. Oh, man, please, God, win this game because this could be the deciding factor if they even make it to the playoffs. Like, that'd be so
I know.
cool. That would be so epic if you knocked them out of the playoffs. Oh, my God.
This story's going to have a happy ending. So, yeah, they win this one.
The Lions did it to Green Bay 2 years ago, and now Chicago is going to do it to them this year. And then you guys are going to go on. Even if okay, so you what? 11. You're what?
11-6.
Even if you don't make the playoffs, can you imagine the Bears, the momentum of going in year 2 with Caleb Williams, going 11-6, and then your receiving core coming back? Like this is something to majorly build off if you're Chicago.
Definitely. Oh man, I could just see it perfectly in my mind. I can see Caleb Williams talking shit to all the Packers fans in the stands.
That'd be so cool. Oh, that'd be so awesome. Dude, that game right there is so important. I pray that you guys do that. And then like, I'll be like blowing up like, ah.
And I mean, if the implications are that severe, right, where it determines the last playoff spot or somebody getting eliminated,
right.
it's definitely going to be flexed to a Sunday night game. It has to be.
Oh yeah. Yeah, look at the Giants and Eagles. I mean, Giants should get whitewashed there, but there's so many all this week. This all division. So like, yeah, that's gonna be so epic. Oh man. See.
So
oh man, this is
Cowboys
Dude,
end 12-5.
That's a pretty good record, honestly, for how everything's been shaken up. So, but yeah, like I mean, Dallas just got to show up, no injuries. Because I called them fair because I said we would go 1-1, and a lot of the only team we're going to destroy is the Giants. The other teams we're going to go 1-1, I think, and then of course I think we were going to go 2-2 in the AFC North. We could go honestly, which makes me depressed. We could go 1-3 in the AFC North because the AFC North always plays us really well. Um, and of course San Francisco. That's just those assholes just beat up Dak like it's just a pinata. But so yeah, if my thing stands tall, we go 2-2, 1-1 in our division with several of them. Like that'd be awesome because I was being so hard earlier. I mean, we talked about it in every podcast. Dude, we play the AFC North, blah blah blah. But like when we play what the two at home and then two away, I'm like, okay, I think we can definitely win two. Like go in 2-2. We're gonna be a slouch of a team, and then the Bears. I mean, this is your year where you're finally gonna start to like finally see some answers, right? Like Bears fans have been like,
Hopefully.
just give us something, Lord Jesus. So
We just got to be we got to be on the right track, right? We got to be improving, which on paper we're improving. It just has to go and show it now on the field. So,
Gabe, what do you think for 11-6 to start Caleb's journey as a Chicago Bear and the new regime?
let us know what your your record prediction is. And we have 13 viewers right now,
Yeah,
and
what are
we've
they
had
chiming in? What's happening? Where are they? Who are they?
no. I mean, I sent a link out to a lot of my friends from the fantasy football league that we're in. So,
Yeah.
if some of them tuned in, thanks guys for tuning in and showing some support. Share the video if there's anybody that you know likes football as well. Share it in all your social media platforms. That will help us get more viewers. But yeah, this is something that we started a few weeks back now. It's been what, 2 months?
Yeah, it's been
2 months since we
fun.
started this.
Yeah, and
And
like, man, oh man, like seeing that schedule now, because like what was key for me is having important games at home, and several of those games that we had that were important, the Texans, the Buccaneers, that made us last year, we were at home. That helps me because Dallas, even though the Green Bay game was just totally stupid and like where the hell they went, but the last 2 years the best home team was Dallas. So if that stays tall and Dak plays really well at home still during the season, then that definitely we go 12-5 or 11-6. I see it.
yeah, it's gonna be fun, man. This is gonna be a very exciting year, right? We have football in ways that we've never had it before in terms of double headers on Monday night footballs. We have Wednesday
Several
games, we have
times.
Friday games. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy and a lot of fun to watch. So I can't wait.
I know. I can't wait for us to watch together. Oh wait. No, but man,
hey,
your
well,
moves come soon, bro. Like when's that happening?
man, I'm dreading it. It's coming. We're like 4 weeks away, less than 4 weeks away.
Jeez. Uncle G, man, much love.
Ga-
1 month tomorrow. That's crazy.
Gabe
What did
says we're
Gabe
12-5.
in his
12 and
mind?
5 is his record. We beat Packers twice.
Man, if that happens, Gabe, we're all going streaking. Like that's
And
just,
and build the Caleb Williams statue at Soldier Field.
yeah. There you go. And I'll paint my fingernails just like him, and I'll put like the Bears, Caleb, like. Oh man, but yeah, if you guys go 12-5 in his first year, that is a massive win. Like
That would be I would
even
be on cloud
11-6.
nine.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, can you imagine? Like, that was
I'm okay with even going 10-7. Honestly, as long as we get to the playoffs. All
yeah.
I want is a playoff matchup.
As long as you guys don't go top 10 in the draft, it's perfectly good, right? So,
Yeah, for sure. But this was a lot of fun. I said we'll do this again next week.
yes,
And-
Danny. Oh man. Again, people, don't take that context. Don't take that out of context. It's just banter.
We're from the Northeast. That's why.
But El Paso, Texas, like Northeast. What do you mean? You don't sound like you're England.
Yeah, but no, we'll talk about record predictions for every division and kind of try to see how that's gonna look like for playoff
That's gonna
positioning
be
next week.
tough. Yeah. We'll just talk winners and losers and like try to figure out the math because like picking each win and loss is gonna be intense.
No, we won't do it. That we're not that good,
ESPN, we're ready. We're ready.
right?
Because they have people in the background anyway. So like we're doing this offhand, so we're ready.
Yep.
And
Well,
so thank you again. This is the Sun City Leatherheads podcast coming to you from El Paso, Texas. Another great evening with Danny Ramirez and everyone chiming in. Appreciate Jaime, Adrian, Gabe, and whoever else viewed. We appreciate you. And
Jaime.
Jaime. Well, until next time.
Peace, guys.
The Bears.